Joe Rogan Podcast. Check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night, all day.
Woo! That's nice. Are we up? Oh, just tell me about that watch. What is that?
This is a Hoyer from 1950.
1950.
So before Tog bought Hoyer.
Is it Tag or is it Tog?
It depends. My dad always told me Tog.
Oh, okay.
Might be Tag though.
Well, it's spelled T-A-G. It could be Tog.
Yeah.
Tag, Tog.
But before they collabed with them or went into business with them, it was just Hoyer. So this is a 1950 Hoyer.
Wow. That's an
pretty cool.
old fucking watch.
Super old, man.
That's kinda
definitely
cool.
haunted.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
There's something cool about that. Right?
Yeah.
Having something that's that old.
Oh, and no one else. You're not going to see a lot of it. That's what I like. Shit, no one else has.
Yeah.
Kind of like cars. You know,
Yeah.
the same with cars.
Do you have to wind it every morning? Is it one of those? Yeah.
It's annoying, but it's worth it. What do you got there? Is that Omega?
No, it's a Grand Seiko. This is
That's
a
sick.
winder too. You have to wind this thing too. It's got a spring drive. It shows you on here like when it's winding up.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, Matt Farah from the Smoking Tire.
Yeah.
He turned me on to Grand Seikos.
They're great.
Yeah, dude, it's such a beautiful design. Their whole company, like the way they design watches, it's all. They call it Zaratsu. This is like hand polished finish.
Yeah.
They take it to like the ultimate detail level.
If you get too into watches, it's going to get expensive.
Yeah, well,
Didn't you give your boy Lex Friedman a watch?
yes, I did. I gave my
I would
favorite
give you
watch.
this one, but my wife gave me this
No,
from
no,
1950.
no.
I just can't do that,
don't
dude.
do-
Yeah.
don't give me that
Just
watch.
buy the company. Just buy the company. Just buy the company.
Well, Lex had this bullshit watch that he bought from Amazon.com for like $20.
dude, what
And
are you
it's
doing?
giant, like a frisbee. It looked goofy, and his nice suit and everything. He dresses so nice. And I was like, "You need a real watch." And then I was a little drunk. I was like, "I'm gonna give him my watch."
Yeah,
it's
type
my
move.
favorite watch too. It's like because it has a moon on it.
Was it Omega?
Yeah, it's an Omega Speedmaster moon phase.
I
watch.
love Omegas.
I do too. And the moon phase watch has a tiny high resolution image of the moon, and it shows you the exact position of the moon in the sky.
That's
so
dope.
like when the moon is like at half moon, it shows it on the watch. When it's at full moon, it shows it on the watch. But like when you see if you can get an image of that. 'Cause
Does he know watches? Was he stoked? Or was he like,
I don't
oh,
know
cool.
how much he knows about watches.
Probably went home and looked
But
it up.
it was legitimately my favorite watch, but just because of the moon phase aspect of it. Plus, it's just Omega's it's a classic company. And it's not too showy. Like Rolex is very showy. Like if you have a Rolex, it's like you
know.
want to let everybody know. They're great watches.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with
Some
it.
would say the best.
They're
But it's like it's
beautiful.
become too almost pop culture. Like
Little bit.
mine, I have a Submariner from 1991.
That's the black band version of it, but it's very similar. The one that I have, the steel band. So see that image of the moon?
Yeah,
I mean, it's
that's
like
sick.
a perfect image, like high resolution image of the moon, just very tiny.
What color band was yours?
Mine
Metal?
was steel. It's all
Yeah.
steel. Yeah. So it's basically the same watch, just with a steel. That was the watch. That's it right there. But
Didn't Russell Peters give you a watch?
He did.
A Breitling, right?
Yeah, Breitling, and I wear that watch every time I do a special.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
So you're paying it forward.
From 2014, I did my 2014, 2016, and 2018 specials. I'm all wearing the Russell Peters
That's so
watch.
cool, man.
Yeah.
Have you been getting up
lucky
much
watch.
around here?
Yeah, I've been doing, well, obviously I was doing those shows with Dave till he got the
And what
cooties.
was that? It was
Stubbs
shows here.
Amphitheater.
Okay.
Stubbs has a 400-seat amphitheater, and so we tested the entire crowd. And then someone in Dave's circle, not related to the show, got COVID and was hanging around with Dave. Got Dave sick, got 3 or 4 other people sick. Radio Raheem got sick. Dave, the photographer's son got sick. I don't know if the photographer got sick. A lot of guys got sick.
Did you and
CK
Elon get it?
No. Elon already had it.
Okay, his antibodies.
Elon had it in the past, and a lot of people were saying that his girlfriend Grimes gave it to Dave. That's not true.
No.
It was another guy that gave it to Dave. His girlfriend Grimes had gotten over it already long before, like several days before she got to the show.
I don't know. Maybe you have the blood type, or you're just built different, where you're not the guy who's going to get COVID.
I don't know, man, but I
You
was
would've got
at a
it by
show.
now.
We'll see. I was at a show with several people that wound up getting COVID. Because I went to this show, and I didn't expect that it was going to be like so COVID-y. Everybody was just
You can
jammed.
feel it,
Out
yeah.
here, bro. People don't give a fuck. They just go out. But the thing
you
is,
should
like,
see Florida.
yeah, oh, I know.
Dude, I did a show
It's
for New
buck
Year's
wild.
Eve. I walked out, and there's it was just everyone's together, and I come out, I'm like, do you guys not get the news? Like, listen, I'm pretty loosey-goosey, but this is ridiculous. And I see a guy making out with 2 chicks in the front. I go, hey, hold on, stop. Do you know each other? They're like, no. I'm like, the fuck you doing, man?
They're not
what about
worried
COVID?
about it. They're not worried about it.
No, they don't care, man.
Do you know about quercetin and zinc and all those different different nutrients?
Yeah.
For people that didn't listen to the Mark Gordon podcast, I'd recommend you listen to it because there's actual peer-reviewed studies on quercetin, which is something called an ionophore, which gets ions into the cells, and then you take that with zinc as a much higher absorption rate of zinc. And according to Dr. Gordon, it essentially like stops viruses dead in its tracks when you take this on a regular basis.
Even COVID.
Yeah, and I'm just on. I have not wavered even a little on my vitamins.
Me neither. I stay on. Listen, I got COVID, right? I was like the canary in the coal mine for comics.
Yeah, you were there early.
I was the first one.
Yeah, it seems to me like kind of everybody's gonna get it.
Yeah.
At this point
Be
in time,
cool, man.
Yeah,
Be cool.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna get it. Be cool.
Well, the people is like when you get it, they like want to yell at you for being irresponsible and for killing my grandma.
Kevin Hart's so much smarter than me because he got it and then announced 6 months later, like, hey, I did have it a few months ago, and I was like, all right, not a big deal.
Yeah, you were like while you had it, you announced it.
The day I got it, like, hey, got COVID, and
I have a
Joey
friend
Diaz lit
who
me
got
up.
it and doesn't. Joey lit you up.
Oh, lit me
well,
up.
Joey was lighting me up for going and doing that show in Houston. Joe Rogan, why are you going to Houston? What the fuck are you doing? You want to catch that shit? Want to catch that shit? Give it to your fucking friends.
Joey, come on.
Well,
Be
he's
cool.
worried about getting it. You know,
And he should be with his health and
Yeah.
his stature. He should be, because I
Yes.
have a family friend, my mother-in-law's best friends. Their son got it. He's 22. Out of shape, but he passed away from it.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's 22.
22.
So there's like those outliers that you
How
hear.
out of shape is he?
Pretty. Not like obese. Probably 5'10", 280, 290.
That's not obese.
I mean, that's obese. But I'm saying he's not like he's not on TLC 600-pound life or nothing.
That's morbidly obese.
Yeah,
though.
great show.
He's 100 pounds overweight.
Yeah, he's heavy.
Yeah. Fuck though. That's
Yeah, shit
crazy.
happens.
22.
22, heartbreaking too.
That's what's such a bummer, man. It's like we have such a problem with obesity in this country and poor diet, and that is the number one comorbidity factor apparently for COVID deaths is being overweight.
should be a wake up call. Like, get in shape.
Jesus Christ, it should be, but I've had overweight people on the podcast. I'm like, you do anything about it? I can't wait for the vaccine. Like, what about now? What about now?
I went to Tim Dillon's house to pick him up because he was co-hosting King and Sting with me. I go to pick him up because he lives pretty close to me. He goes, come in, check out the new pad, man. We go into this room and there's workout equipment. He goes, so here's my elliptical that I stare at every morning. There's my treadmill that I like to take pictures of. I'm like, you don't use them? He's like, nah, I don't know, man. I got him here though.
He needs a trainer. That's what he needs.
I connect him to my
contacted
trainer.
me after Ralphie May died and after someone else died. Someone else died. I forget who it was.
Who like a bigger person?
Another comic died. And he was like, you know what? I got to do something.
He was scared about it. Like he did King and Sting. It was like, how many people are in the room? I was like, we have Chappelle, Kat, Chin, and Nick and Theo. He's like, all right. And was like, you got to get rid of these people. I'm like, but they've had it, dude. They have antibodies. He's like, I don't care. I don't want all those people in there.
Why don't you guys just test? You don't test people?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah?
Yeah, we test all the time. And with Showtime, my shows at Showtime, they test like a month. I get tested all the fucking time.
So why don't you just test before the shows, and then he doesn't have to worry about it?
Well, he doesn't have to worry about it because all those people already had it.
Right.
Everyone in there has had it.
And he's still...
Yeah, but
weirded
whatever
out?
made him feel comfortable. You know, I get it.
I get it.
Yeah.
Well, I'd hate for Tim to get sick and die.
Oh,
That
we got to
would-
protect him at all costs.
At all costs.
I love
this
fucking
fucking
Tim Dillon.
the new video of him as the new health secretary, the
He's so
transgender
funny.
lady from Pennsylvania.
He's so and his whole dispute with Airbnb.
Yes. He's
I told
banned
him
from the app.
Yeah, I told him like, dude, I don't know if I'd make like threats to the men. He goes, stuff happens, Brendan.
He
goes,
doesn't
stuff
give
happens.
a fuck. He does
Because
not
people
give a
die
fuck.
all the time. Stuff happens.
He does not give a fuck. Play that. Please play that.
My name is Rachel Levine. I'm the Biden administration's new Secretary of COVID. And many young people aren't wearing their masks because they don't think it's lit. But I'm telling you right now, you can turn up and have a great party even with your masks on. And I'm no stranger to partying. I love jellies and buttons and Black Beauties, Abyssinian Tea, Candy, Tranks, Circles, Erasers, Wolfies, Jellies, Moggies, Valleys, Eggs, School Bus, I Love a Little Aunt Nora, French Fries, Liquid X, Blind Squid, Cat Valium, Green Jet, Special K, Super Acid, African Salad, Herbal Speedball, Electric Kool-Aid, Sugar Cube, Purple Haze, Yellow Sunshine,
Just look at him with that fucking wig on.
Alice Boomers, Capped, Cow Patties, Fungus, Tweezies, Yellow Fever, Velvet, Skittles, Triple C, Magic Mint, and bath salts. So listen, kids, your new health secretary isn't an old fuddy-duddy. I like robo-tripping as good as the next person, okay? The safest thing you could do is wear your mask, get vaccinated, and then let's fucking get this party started right. Also, after a short battle with COVID-19, the President of the United States, Joe Biden, has passed away.
He's so stupid.
He's so stupid.
I love
such a
him.
ridiculous person.
He's a gem.
He is a rare person, right? And he's so prolific. Like, he works so hard. Like, anytime something is happening, like, he's got a video out. Like,
He's on it.
really quickly.
He has a setup out of his house.
Yeah.
It's a good studio. He gets it, man.
And his
Killer.
ability to just rant. Like, his podcast is essentially like him and his producer, and he's just ranting about
Ranting
things.
while his
Just
producer
ranting.
laughs.
Yeah. He's got like a one-person audience.
Tim's one of the guys on King of the Sting. It's me and Theo, like, busting balls and making fun of the video submissions. With Tim, it was like just bring up something, and then me and Theo just backed off.
Dude.
Let him go.
I had him on with Alex Jones. It was glorious.
Insane.
It was glorious. Because first of all, Tim is a fucking conspiracy nut. Not that he believes in these things, but he's like read a bunch of them.
Yeah, he likes it.
He's curious about what. So he knew a lot of shit, and him and Alex Jones going back and forth together was hilarious.
Characters, man.
Yeah.
Dude, this is the first whiskey that I've had in a long time. I took all
Anyone-
of January off.
Anyone defending institutional Wall Street right now got an envelope with photos of themselves at Jeffrey Epstein's birthday. So what Jamie's just pulled up with that and what Tim was talking about is this insane situation that's happening. It started out with GameStop with these intelligent vipers from Reddit decided they were going to figure out here's the thing. Wall Street speculation and these people that have been these hedge fund guys, they've been manipulating the stock market in a very similar way forever.
Yeah.
But these guys on Reddit decided to get together collectively. And what is it called? The subreddit called Wall Street Bets.
Yep.
So Wall Street Bets decided that these hedge funds were shorting GameStop, right? So they decided we're going to buy GameStop. We're going to fuck their whole system up.
Just to boost GameStop.
Yeah, well,
stock.
just to see if they could, and it's fun. It's fun. So a bunch of people bought GameStop stock. GameStop stock rose higher than it's ever risen in the entire history of the company.
Hilarious.
I think it was up 11,000%. Is that the case?
The actual percentage, yeah, I don't know.
I might have made that number up. Sounded
yeah.
good, though, didn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm looking at it.
impressive.
It had never been higher than $50-$60, and
Mm-hmm.
it shot up to $300 to $400 at some point yesterday.
Which is
Even
crazy.
Today, a little bit, but just
Which
more
is,
though. Yeah.
it's that's a crazy jump for no reason. And it was all because of these guys. So this is where it gets complicated because now regulars, do me a favor and go to Sagar, his Instagram page, because he gave me permission to play this today because he just talks about how this is really exposing the actual corruption in the stock market and real market manipulation
Jesus.
because they're trying to do something about the fact that these Wall Street guys are getting fucked over and like hedge funds have lost billions of dollars because of this. And so, but the thing is that now that
All
these
right, Cyrus.
guys, let's play it. Let's play it real quick.
This was the one you sent me yesterday, right?
No,
The newer one?
Yes, the one from today.
Oh, I didn't know they had a newer one.
Let me. I'll
This
send
one,
it.
Regulate and Reform.
Perhaps. Let's see.
All right, Sagar, what's on your radar?
Well, I have a confession to make. This is the first story that's excited
Yes,
me in
this
a
is it.
long time. Covering the pandemic and Trump and Stop the Steal and Capitol riots and the Biden presidency. It's been a real bummer. And I have not felt a pep in my step like this in many months. And it is now thanks to a bunch of Redditors going after the people I despise the most in our society, speculators on Wall Street. By now, I'm sure that you're all familiar with the story. Hedge funds and billionaires took out a massive short position on the company called GameStop. A band of Redditors on a subreddit called Wall Street Bets called their bluff, drove the stock up to the tune of thousands of percentile more to force those hedge funds to liquidate billions of dollars in losses while the merry band of Redditors gets rich. It's the ultimate David and Goliath story. Underemployed and unemployed, sitting at home in their pajamas, using the power of the internet and new trading platforms like Robinhood to destroy the kings of American finance. We are never going to go back to the old ways of doing business, and Wall Street knows this. So what's their solution? It's one that we, my friends, must resist absolutely at all costs. Now they know that they do not have a monopoly on manipulating the market. They are going to do everything in their power to go after you and people like me who are not on the side of the billionaire elite. As I laid out yesterday, they are already going into overdrive on CNBC, who started off yesterday by inviting the literal CEO of the NASDAQ on to call for more regulation. Let's take a listen to that again.
One of the things that we're talking about is maybe misinformation and pump and dumps, and it's occurring on social media again. It just, I'm wondering whether it's part of the same problem, the type of regulation that we finally need to consider. And like I said, we should always have a light touch with regulation, but you're seeing the way things can get started. Again, this is different. Maybe it's Reddit, maybe it's not Facebook, but you're seeing the same situation.
He's
At
flustered.
this point, it's not about an election. It's not about a
Well, he's also
an
pause for a
insurrection,
second. Pause for a second. He's also calling for regulation.
Yes.
They never call for regulation.
Never. He's super
Assholes
flustered.
like him. The
Never.
last thing that guy wants,
Yeah.
in terms of like being able to manipulate the market and make as much money as possible,
Yeah.
is fucking regulation.
Yeah.
So
He's
him calling for
for it.
regulation is kind of hilarious. And him saying that they're manipulating it with social media, like this is literally what they do.
Yep.
It's what they do.
Yep.
Keep going.
His neck
there are
bothers
interesting
me.
things happening that seem to be spawned to some extent, or at least blown out of proportion by social media again, Adina.
Well, I do think, though, that as we look at these new technologies that are there available to everyone, including investors, I think it's also important for regulators to understand that, manipulation is manipulation, whether it's happening through a new technology medium or it's happening through traditional mail.
She's the tightest skin
I
I've
think
ever
it's just
seen.
a matter of making sure that we understand what the behavior is, what's underpinning the behavior, and working appropriately with the regulators to manage the situation.
She looks like a female version of the blind scientist from Contact with Jodie Foster. Tell me she doesn't. Pull up an image of that guy. He's a
all these
famous
people
actor.
on this clip have issues. He has Richard Ramirez teeth. It's a nightmare.
Contact with Jodie Foster. Go to images. The guy in the far right. Yeah.
Oh, a little bit.
Come on, give me that
Little bit.
picture.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Come on, right there. Now
Yeah.
go back to her.
No, they look pretty fucking similar. Yeah, good call, Doug. Good reference. Almost identical.
It's so crazy.
It's the cheekbones and the mouth.
Are you sure that's not him or her? I don't mean to dead name or misgender. Okay, keep playing it.
Working appropriately with the regulators to manage the situation.
Yeah, you heard that correctly. The guy from CNBC who hates regulation is now calling for more regulation. And the CEO of the head of one of the largest trading exchanges in the world is agreeing with him. Notice, when hedge funds manipulate markets, when they screw over regular people in different companies, when Wall Street requires billions of dollars in bailouts and floats from the Federal Reserve, there isn't any call for more regulation. But a couple of average Joes on the internet make money at the expense of a billionaire hedge fund. Well, that just can't stand. And I'm not exaggerating here, just showing you one clip. The idea across the American elite right now is that what has happened with GameStop is unacceptable. Don't believe me? Check this out. As GameStop and other stocks soared, Arthur Levitt Jr., he decided to weigh in. And if you don't know who that is, it's the former SEC chairman who literally presided over the dot-com bubble and was appointed by Bill Clinton, who perhaps more than any president is responsible for much of the financialization of our economy beginning in his administration. Levitt wrote an op-ed in Bloomberg calling for a full agency investigation into online stock trading platforms, and said that social media is taking advantage of users' behavioral psychology and pushing them into dangerous territory. Okay, maybe, I don't even really disagree with that. But doesn't it just tell you everything? That this is what they want to investigate now? That this is what they want the government to do something about now? Don't underestimate how mainstream this view is. Yesterday, the White House press secretary said Janet Yellen is, quote, monitoring the situation. Elizabeth Warren tweeted out that we needed more regulation. The state securities regulator for the state of Massachusetts said GameStop trading should be halted for 30 days. And the SEC now says they're working with regulators to assess the situation, review the activities, and other participants. Like I said, hey, maybe that's justified, but you people are silent on the crimes of the actually influential people who rig our economy on a daily basis. You want a near-perfect corollary? Billionaire investor Bill Ackman. He went on CNBC in March 2020 to give an emotional interview to say hell is coming and that hotel stocks would go to zero. His interview sparked a panic sell on Wall Street. It is seen in retrospect as one of the precipitating events of that drop. Guess what? At the exact same time, right after that interview, Ackman was buying billions of dollars in the stock as it hit rock bottom.
Jesus.
In fact, he pocketed $2 billion in bets against the market as it was crashing.
Okay, let's pause.
It was a crash.
Billionaire's gonna billionaire, man.
This fucking
Can I have some more?
Yeah. What the mark? First of all, this is the great roach crisis of 2021 now because another one's missing. Who's cleaning this place?
The door was locked. I don't know.
Someone took your roach.
There's no roach.
Never trust a man with a ponytail.
I
That's
don't.
what my
Need
dad
He's
always
got
said.
an unlimited
I'm good.
supply of weed.
I don't even like
They
mics.
keep vanishing here.
What is this?
Buffalo Trace? Buffalo Trace is doing a promotion with Fight for the Forgotten to raise money.
Oh, sick.
And they're making me a whole barrel of whiskey, and so I got to pick out the
wanna
various.
drink all your shit.
Oh, we got a lot of them.
Okay.
We got 5 bottles over
Say
there.
less.
Yeah, grab a couple more of those little bottles, fella.
Fantastic.
But we got, dude. He was like, "Tell me which one you like," and we drank all of them. And I'm like, I don't.
All of them?
I don't notice the difference. I don't know. You'd have to like drink some fucking mouth cleaner in between to be able to tell the difference between.
It's tough.
It's
I went through the same process. I got my own whiskey dropping in March.
oh, shameless plug.
Yeah. But you get all these samples and like, which
Yeah.
one do you like? And I was saying, I'm like, they're all good.
They're all
man.
good. You know who's got a fucking
Cheers,
dope
brother.
whiskey? Josh Barnett.
I've heard.
It's really good.
Is it good?
It's really good. It's I think it's called Warbringer is the name of the company. War Master is the. See if we can find it. But it's a smoky whiskey. I really like it.
I'm not a big
Very
smoky guy,
unusual.
but I heard it's good.
I wish I had a bottle.
heard
here.
from you.
He sent me a bottle to my house. It's excellent.
Great
it's
label, Josh.
Mesquite smoked Southwest bourbon whiskey.
Label's half the battle now.
Yeah. Well, that's a different label than I got.
That one's fucking dope,
yeah.
Josh.
Mine was like a reddish label.
Good for him.
It's very good though. That's what I got. I got that one right there.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Look at that. He's got 2 roosters
War
fighting
Master
on it.
Edition?
Yes.
How's he doing?
He's doing great. That guy is so fucking smart.
He has to be one of the smartest fighters to ever enter the octagon.
100%.
He's so smart.
So well read. You know, just an interesting take on
Does
things.
he do his own podcast?
always.
I know we're always pushing people to do their own podcast, but that guy should fucking just rant into a microphone for a hot hour.
For sure. I
Call
think
it
he
the
was
War Master Hour.
planning on it. Right?
Get on it, Josh.
Do you know, Jamie?
You still beat up small Asians in wrestling?
He does some pro wrestling.
Oh, you know who I saw at the airport? Boss Rutan.
Yeah, you told me he's jacked.
Jack.
But is his arm okay now? Because he had that like one arm that was all fucked up from
I
his
don't
neck
know.
injury.
He was just sitting down, and I was like, what are you doing? His neck was like fucking jacked.
Really?
And he was looking at, he's moving out of L.A. He was coming here, Idaho, and I think he was looking in Nashville.
Everybody's moving out of LA.
Except for your boy. Hold it
staying?
down. Well, I'm giving it a year.
A whole year.
Well,
How many guns you got?
a bunch.
You're gonna need them.
Yeah, AR-15, son. I got them gnarly guns.
You get it before Biden comes to take it away. All you need is a double-barrel shotgun. I told my wife Jill, you go out, you if someone's outside, you shoot one off into the air. Like,
Get the fuck out of here. No, I'll call Tim Kennedy. He'll save me. In a helicopter. In a fucking helicopter.
yeah. When I asked Tim Kennedy how far, he was telling me about this ranch. He's like, well, it's 55 minutes driving or 20 minutes by helicopter.
Oh, well, I don't have a helicopter, dude.
He's got a helicopter. He takes
yeah.
a helicopter everywhere.
Yeah, he's asked me to go shooting hogs with him out of the helicopter.
Yeah, he asked me that too. They don't keep the hogs though. The thing is, it's like an eradication thing. Like, first of all, Those pigs, people think they're not good to eat because they eat horrible things. They're great to eat.
Are they?
Yes, they're great to eat. You just have to cook them the same way you would cook any animal that eats other animals. When you eat an animal that eats other animals, whether it's a pig or mountain lion or bear, you just have to cook it to more than 100 and I think it's 160 degrees.
Like you're not
to
eating
stop
medium
trichinosis.
rare.
No.
Well done.
Nope. Yeah,
You got to roast with it, huh?
Yeah, roasts. You got to just low and slow. You can sous vide it. You can cook it at, there's one thing you could do. You can cook it at like a lower temperature for a longer period of time and like sous vide because it'll kill the parasites if it gets to a certain temperature for a prolonged period of time. I think they've proven that like you can sous vide like wild pig and eat it in a medium rare, but you have to get it to like 135 and cook it for like many hours.
Yeah, Tim don't give a fuck about that. He's trying to body count, son.
Well, they just
body count.
The thing is, they get hired by ranches, or they get told by ranchers like this is a place where you can take people to shoot them because Texas is infested with wild pigs
and they're fucking up property. Like I get it,
billions of dollars in damage every year. It's a crazy
I'd be
thing.
down to do it.
Yeah, it is. But I have a position that I have to take. In terms of like, see, the thing is, if I knew that the meat was going to go to something, I'd be cool with it. But
won't the other animals eat it?
Other pigs will eat it.
There you go.
That's what's gross.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Yeah, they'll cannibalize each other. Bears cannibalize each other.
Disgusting.
Yeah,
I would do it though. But yeah, I'm staying. Point is, I'm staying in LA for now until.
How do we get off that track so far that we're
I don't know.
talking about cannibals?
Yeah, Tim Kenny saving me and killing animals. I'm gonna give it a year. I'm not gonna just rush into anything. I'm gonna give it a year. See what happens.
Okay, good luck.
Hopefully Newsom doesn't fuck up.
Oh, he's gonna fuck
more.
it up.
He's
I think
the
they're gonna
worst.
get rid of him.
Oh, they are.
I think that Google guy.
Yeah, I
is
can't
gonna-
wait.
That billionaire tech guy who wants to run.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I boosted his tweet. He
Fuck
said
yeah.
he said recalled Gavin Newsom. I'm running for governor of California. How do you pronounce his name, Jamie? Say it.
Chamath or Chamath.
What is his full name?
I'll take anybody at this point.
Yeah,
over Newsom.
It's a complicated name, but he knows business, and that's what this goddamn country, this state, particular California in particular, needs.
Okay.
How do you say that?
Sri Lankan.
Palihapitya.
Executive at Facebook. That's trouble.
Chamath. Yeah, well, he knows his shit.
Board member with Golden
Yeah.
State Warriors. Dig that.
Yeah.
He
Big
was on
trouble for
CNBC
Newsom.
talking
Big
about
trouble.
this stuff.
Good. That piece of
big trouble
shit.
for Newsom. And then Newsom is releasing. They've changed their policy in California in terms of they're allowing the restaurants to open, but yet they're not showing the COVID data anymore. Because the reason why they're allowing the restaurants to open is, I gotta think it has something to do with pressure, and I gotta think it has something to do with the fact that he's being recalled.
100%. He's gotten quiet. Like, you're not in LA, but every morning he used to be on there talking shit, and we're locking down this, and this is why we're doing this. Since the recall, you barely hear from him.
He's
and then the
scary.
one time you heard from him, he was like, well, billionaires are doing good.
Did you see that?
Yeah, it's like, they let you talk and you fucked up, dude.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is he did a Q&A, and some guy asked him, is this because of the pressure, like reopening restaurants because of the pressure, because of the recall? It's 100% not true. It's not. It's categorically
piece of shit.
Like the way he said it though was like stammering, and
Yeah, he was like the guy on there. Like, you can tell, like, the turkey neck.
He fucked up.
But New York's open, Chicago open. I mean, come on.
Listen,
When
they
open,
shut those restaurants down to make it look like they were doing something.
It's all optics.
It's all optics.
It's all optics.
Yeah. There's no.
So you can be like, hey, we tried our best.
No evidence.
Zero.
That COVID is being spread through these outdoor dining establishments. It's just not. It's not true.
Strange because you're getting rid of the middleman, but then these big companies are left open.
The
So
problem
you're forced
is,
to go there.
it's real clear. The problem is they don't get penalized. So they keep getting their checks every week. And wasn't Newsom at one point in time, wasn't he supposed to take a giant pay cut?
And never did it.
Never did it?
Never did it.
He got gifted a home and then took a mortgage out on it. He got gifted a $3 million house and then took out a big mortgage on it.
Crazy.
It's like there's so much garbage in politics. And when you see these people that make decisions that crush small businesses and crush restaurants, and 75% of all restaurants in LA are gone, and they're probably never coming back.
What's interesting to me is people still put up with it. It's like, you're going to listen to this guy after all this?
What can they do,
You're
man?
still doing it?
What can they do if they have a home there?
Revolt and open up.
But they can't, because then they'll lose their license, and they'll never be able to open up once it's open.
Yes and no, because also the cops aren't on board with Newsom. They're not enforcing the rules.
Right, but the cops are not the regulators.
Yeah, they're going to pull. You're saying they're going to pull.
Yeah,
their
they're going to
license
pull your
and
licenses, and they'll never
alcohol
let you get it
license.
back. Yeah,
It's tricky, man.
yeah. Well,
but I talked to Emily at the Comedy Store, and she was saying they were having a conversation, I think today or Friday, that the Comedy Store in La Jolla is going to open up next month, hopefully.
well, that makes sense. I want to pull something that someone sent me because it's
About California?
Yeah, the Comedy Store in La Jolla should have been opened up a long fucking time ago. They wanted to do shows in the back
Dude, I
parking
was
lot.
booked there like 2 months ago, and they yanked it.
Yeah, it's not good, dude.
They're going to open up. I told Emily I'll do it for free. Just give the staff the money. Whatever. When the Comedy Store in LA opens, I'll do it. Whatever they
Good
want
for
to do.
you, dude.
Yeah.
I had Craig from Craig's and John Terzarian.
From LA, Craig's.
Yeah.
Oh, great restaurant.
Yes. How do you say John's last name? Terzian? It's Terzian, not Terzarian. And John was telling me that when he was speaking out against the regulators that and the regulations they were putting down in Los Angeles, they were visiting his place every fucking day.
Oh, yeah.
Every day. And he's like, you have thousands of restaurants. He's like, well, it's not my fault. We're told to come here every day. Like, they were fucking with him.
Yep.
So that's Garcetti.
Mafia.
Yeah, they're doing shady shit because
Garcetti.
they don't like this pressure. They don't like criticism. So they're abusing their power because they don't like criticism.
And they're going to lose their jobs.
Oh, hopefully. Please.
Garcetti, name
Hopefully.
a bigger pussy. Name a dude. Unreal.
Yeah.
And you listen to that guy.
There's another guy that's running for governor in California.
The San Diego
Major
guy?
Williams. That guy, too. But Major Williams is a guy who's a veteran, and he's been on the campaign trail for a while, Republican guy. Who,
The San Diego, I think, was he the mayor of, or governor of San
Yes.
Diego? You've never
Mayor.
seen a human being blink more in your life.
Really?
He has to have a condition, or he's a lizard. You've never, ever seen a
Do
human being
lizards blink a lot?
I think so, yeah. They keep doing this. Dude, I'm saying it's a condition. Yeah,
Really?
it's insane.
See
But
if,
I hope he wins.
Go to see if you can find Major Williams' Instagram page. Yeah, so he's on a run for the governor of
Yeah, let's
California.
get
He's
this
got
brother in there, man.
Yeah, he's got
Let's go, bro.
a lot of support behind him too.
I'm in.
Veteran.
Fuck
You
yeah.
know, and look at his positions. He's anti-mandatory vaccinations, anti-human trafficking, anti-voter fraud, anti-high taxes,
Yeah.
anti-over-regulations, anti-hate groups, anti-socialism, anti-communism, anti-online censorship, anti-defunding the police.
Yeah, no
Yes.
shit. Aren't we all?
Pro-entrepreneurship, pro-innovation, pro-Second Amendment, pro-community collaboration, pro-school choice,
I don't know if we need all
pro-legal
this.
immigration, pro-forest management. All these things are good. Pro-armed
good
forces,
guy.
pro-first responders, pro-firefighters, pro-law enforcement officers, pro-life, pro-freedom, pro-family, pro-God. Who's not pro-God?
pro-Second
Who's like,
Amendment.
I'm cool with everything but God.
Yeah.
God can eat shit.
Dude,
what
God,
did you make?
Just that's where I draw
What
the
did you
line.
do,
Yeah,
God?
what did you do?
What kind
Look
of a
what you've
mess.
done to
Look
us.
what you've done. Look what you've done. Look what
Yeah,
you've done
I'll
with the
take it.
ocean. You got sharks out there fucking all these fish up. It's
I'll
not their
take it,
fault.
man. I don't know if he
Yeah.
needs all that, but whoever.
Well, he's a positive force. He's got some real good ideas, and then this other gentleman from Google has some very good ideas. This is the good thing about someone who's a poor manager, and not just poor manager, but corrupt. Like when you saw Gavin Newsom at that restaurant eating indoors with no mask on, that's all you needed to know. That's all you needed to
You got to
know.
look more into him because there's that, and you're like, oh, that's ridiculous. Well, do you know he left his vineyard open and closed the other ones?
Yeah.
Do you know that his kids are in school?
Yeah.
Like, read it's there, man. You just got to
Yeah.
look into it.
Yeah, there's
real piece of shit.
It's not good. It's classic politics, and he's probably been able to do this for his whole career while he was running San Francisco. I'm sure this is This is the way they've operated forever. This is the way Nancy Pelosi operated, who's his aunt, by the way.
Correct.
Nancy Pelosi, who got busted at a beauty salon
Yep.
with no fucking mask on while the beauty salons were closed. They caught her, and she's like, they asked her, "Do you want to apologize?" They should apologize to me because it was a setup.
It's
It
not.
was a setup. It was a setup. You know the fucking laws, lady. You know those things aren't open. I don't have hair, and I know beauty salons are closed.
Yeah, it's like,
How the fuck do you not know? It's crazy. Like the fact that is tolerated. These people who make the rules are for you and not for me. Different rules for you than for me, and that's what you saw with Gavin Newsom when he's eating at that restaurant with no fucking mask and then lying about the fact that it was outdoors.
well, his approval rating's in the tank, so he'll get his.
How does he have any approval ratings?
That's my thing. How does anybody fuck with him? How does anyone look at that and go, he's doing a good job?
Well, people are coming at him from both sides now, because now people are coming at him on the left for reopening up restaurants. When I saw an article today saying that there's widespread support for keeping the economy locked down. I'm like,
How insane is
with
that?
who?
With
who?
How insane is that?
What is? But it's a lie. Widespread support among who? Your friends who are rich?
Yep.
Like, people that have no money and are fucked right now want to be able to take a chance. Wear a goddamn mask, take your vitamins, and go to work. That's
Yep.
what people want to do.
Let us decide.
They want to
Let
keep
the
their
public
businesses
decide.
open.
Yep. Look at Cuomo. He's like, man, we got to open up because we're not going to have anything to open back up to if we keep shutting down. We're like, yeah, bitch, we've been saying this since day one, dude.
Dude, when I talk to politicians who will talk to me both on the record and off the record, there was decisions that were made that were trying to fuck Trump over.
Yeah,
They're real clear.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't want the economy to rebound. They made political decisions, and they thought they could get away with it. We have to get rid of those people.
Have to.
All those people that made those kind of decisions, we have to get rid of them.
It's heartbreaking.
I talked to Governor Abbott, the governor of Texas, and he was like real clear. He's like, we have to allow businesses to stay open. He goes, if we don't have businesses staying open, we're doomed. This is just how an economy works, you know. And Elon Musk talked about on my podcast early on in the pandemic.
Yep.
You know,
from
he
day
said
one.
these fools don't understand that if you don't make things, there are no things.
Yep.
People need to make things. People buy things. They need things. This is how the economy works. If you don't make things, there are no things. Like these fucking politicians, they live in this world where they get a paycheck no matter what. It's dark,
you look
dude.
at the crime rate. Oh, dude, it's so dark.
It's so dark.
But what you don't want to have happen in California, this would make me leave California, is you look at what Washington and Minneapolis did with the taxes. Have you seen what they've done?
Oh, yeah, they
they've
jacked
hiked them
them up.
way the fuck
It's
up.
hilarious. That's why everybody's moving here.
Yeah.
Not just because it's cool, not just because people are friendly as fuck. Look, I would have moved here if the taxes are the same, just because the way they're handling COVID.
Yeah.
It's just it's just a better system here, and it's also the other thing is like it's an easier system to manage because there's less people. The reality of California and the reality of LA is there's too many people.
There's a lot of people.
There's too many people to manage.
Yeah, it's scary for sure.
Hey, you like cigars?
No.
No, not at
No.
all. Interesting.
I like the smell of them.
Oh, good.
But I don't like stay on them.
Okay.
Just whiskey for me, sir.
Just smell the cigar.
I took all of January off from drinking
all of it
because I was drinking every single night.
Why were you doing that? Just to kind of cope?
Just to wind down.
Just to get by?
2020 was tough.
It was a weird year, man.
So I decided to drink every night.
It's a weird year, but I think for the people that survived, the one benefit, if you want to look for the silver lining in the cloud, the one benefit is that I think people are going to appreciate freedom and health and just the way things were.
And family.
Yeah. Oh, that's that for sure.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that really, really appreciate their family and really appreciate the people that survived. And, you know, when you have lost ones, loved ones that get lost or that die in the pandemic or in any way, it makes you appreciate the people that are around you.
It makes you appreciate the UFC, too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Dana took a big risk when he went out there and was like, listen, we're going to carry on.
Yeah.
We're going to carry on. And everyone gave him so much shit.
They did.
So many people gave him shit. And that is a motherfucker. Did Elon Musk make that or what?
No.
That's intense.
It's a Colibri. It's a regular cigar lighter.
Is it? Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm not a smoker. I don't know. That was pretty badass.
Yeah, it looks good, right?
Yeah, it looks pretty. Yeah, you look pretty gangster. Yeah, you're full blown Texas. Yeah, man, you look happy.
Since I moved here, I got 8 guns given to me.
Oh yeah.
People have given me 8
From like
guns.
Black Rifle
I
and
bought
Tim
one.
Kennedy.
Yeah, Tim Kennedy gave me a gun
Of
when he came on the
course,
podcast.
Standard.
And then 8 other people gave me guns.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, gun companies.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's just like
They don't give a fuck.
it's
out
like
there.
in a fruit basket in LA, you get guns in Texas.
Well, it's just a different place, man. It's different. But here's the thing: like, there's pros and cons to all this craziness, no matter where you live. The pros here, in my opinion, outweigh the cons. People are really nice. They're really friendly. The food's great, and it's just like a more relaxed environment, man. I
and if
feel
you can build
better
a
here.
comedy scene, which I believe in you and that you'll do.
I got plans.
Yeah, I know you do. Then there's a huge pro here, because that's kind of the one con right now.
Yeah,
Because LA, I can do 6 spots in a night.
Still.
Well, no, not right now.
Yeah, that's what
I'm
I'm
saying when it
saying.
opens up.
Yeah, well, when it opens up here, by the time things open up, we got plans, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Don't
you do.
worry.
Popping.
We're shifting. We're shifting all the. There's no here. The thing is, the reason why we were in LA is because we were hoping to be a part of the Hollywood system. The Hollywood system has more holes in it than the restaurant industry. Like, that system has been falling apart for a long time in
Yes.
terms of like providing comedians jobs. Like, you get a few jobs, but the real jobs are on the internet. That's the real jobs. The real jobs are the jobs you create yourself. Guys like Tim Dillon, guys like you,
Correct.
guys like me. Like, what we've done through podcasts and YouTube and now Spotify is you don't need to be in a central location.
No.
You just need the support of other comics and guests, and you need to do your best and put on a good show. And it goes to the whole world. It doesn't have to be centrally located in Los Angeles.
No.
It just doesn't have to be anymore.
No. Yeah, my thing is again, I'm sure it's going to get better here, especially if you open up a club and do that stuff. But once LA does open up and those clubs are hopefully still around, and I can do 6 to 7 spots a night, you've been in LA for how long, Joe? 30 years?
Close.
You had that little stint in Denver and came back,
Yeah.
but it's like you've been there forever, man.
Yeah.
Like you're older, you're set, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like you're a monster, so you can come out here and do that. I gotta hustle, dude.
Oh, I get it.
I gotta fucking hustle.
No, I get
And
it.
LA, there's just the energy there for me, and that's why I'm giving it a year. I'm hoping that those things open back up so that hustle's available. Now, if you take that away, yeah, there's no reason for me to be there.
Yeah, no, listen, I love LA, and I hope, especially I love the LA comedy scene. I hope the Improv reopens. I hope the store reopens. I hope everything comes back to life and survives. I really do, and I hope it's a great place for the comics in that area to thrive and to keep going. But we don't need just one great place.
I agree.
And I think that what kept me and a lot of people in Los Angeles was the showbiz industry.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think the showbiz industry applies to us the same way it applies to people that are trying to get on sitcoms, Like,
No, I don't know why you're trying to get on there. Like at this, I was making fun of Chris DiStefano because he was like, I'm trying to figure out I'm come out there because we have this show on True TV. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
You say that, but like, look what happened with those Impractical Jokers guys. Those guys are selling out fucking arenas.
I don't want to be those
Wasn't
guys.
that True TV?
Sure, I don't want to be those guys.
Yeah, but they want to be those guys.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe.
They're killing it.
I don't. You
Okay,
know what I'm saying?
you don't.
Yeah,
but
I see what you're saying.
But listen, Chris DiStefano is not selling out arenas.
Yeah.
The Practical Joke, and he's a funny guy. Chris DiStefano is a very funny
talented,
guy.
very
talented
funny.
guy. Really
just
good
a
guy.
matter of time before he pops.
Yes, for sure. But he's not selling out arenas. Those guys are. Those Impractical Jokers guys are fucking killing it, dude.
Chris is
And
funnier
it's
than them.
Well, they're not really stand-ups, right?
No.
They're more improvisational.
Yeah.
They do a whole show. It's a very funny show. Ari told me it's great. He's been there. He's done it with them. He said it's fantastic.
I'm sure. Yeah, they're good at that. For
They had
sure.
that tour that Bert went on.
Yeah,
You know,
they crush it. Absolutely crush it.
They had not a tour, it's cruise, right? They had that cruise. Yeah. But the point is, like, it worked out for them. But the reason I think it worked out for Impractical Jokers is because it's a great show. If you have a great show, you put it anywhere.
You're gonna make it
people
no
are gonna
matter
find
what.
It.
Yeah.
It just needs a platform.
And you can create your own platform. I mean, YouTube now, like with specials and stuff. Look at Mark Norman.
Yes.
If you put a special on, I don't know how it would have done on Netflix, getting lost in the algorithm. Maybe if it gets in, behind you and Burr and Tom, maybe it blows up like Nate Bargatze. But him putting it on YouTube, that thing, he's at over 5 million views.
Yeah, and he
That's all
deserves them
Mark.
all. Yeah, he deserves them all. And it's all word of mouth. And now Mark is killing it. He's out there on the road and he's killing it. That's beautiful. That's the beautiful thing about comedy. It's like if you're undeniable, people
They'll find
you out.
you.
He does a lot of podcasts. Mark is always a guest on podcasts. He's hilarious.
Everyone loves him.
Yeah,
Everyone knows how talented he is.
and he's dedicated to the game. Like, he loves comedy.
He's a
He
true comic.
Loves it. Yes. Loves it. And a great guy. Just a great
best.
guy. Just a great guy. Yeah, I'm happy when guys do the Andrew Schultz route, like what Andrew did. Schultz, he's so fucking smart. He put all his shit on YouTube. He put an improvisational special
Put
on
a crowd work
YouTube.
special on YouTube.
Yep, all improvisational, all fucking around with
Off
the
the
crowd.
cuff for
and
an
then he does his Netflix series based on shit that he was doing on Instagram during COVID.
Yeah.
So during COVID, he gets together a bunch of writers. He puts together a studio. He spends a shitload of money and puts together these video clips that are just goddamn brilliant. Just joke after joke, punchline after punchline.
It's not even his material. So he still has to do a special with Netflix.
Yes.
Or wherever he wants to go.
Well,
I don't
he
know if it's for sure
fucking
Netflix.
for sure
but-
could.
Yeah.
Well, not only is it not his material, because it's a whole new thing that he wrote with those guys, but it's also a totally different style
Yes.
than he does. And he talked about it on my podcast. It's
Oh,
like
did he?
his style is like he has pauses in stand up because he recognizes stand up as a different art form.
Yeah.
But in that, he is, in my opinion, he's the master of COVID, of the lockdown.
Him and Tim.
Yes. But he figured out how to condense it into this like undeniable form that you could put on Instagram where you watch this. I would send those clips to people and they'd be like, holy
Everyone,
shit.
yeah.
Like I put them up on my Instagram. They would get millions of views because they were that good.
Monster.
Yeah.
Monster. Yeah, there's a few comics or podcasters or, comedians who figured out in COVID how to adjust and capitalize on it.
They
and a lot
hustle.
of them just disappeared.
Yeah, but that's the guys that don't hustle. Those
Well,
are
that's
the
what-
same guys that don't write a lot.
That's what Mark Norman said. I had him on the podcast. He goes, in hindsight, COVID's kind of good because you're gonna find out who can hack it and who can't.
Yeah.
man. Who can deal with it and adapt and be a real comedian.
And who's
move
got
on.
balls.
Yes.
Who takes chances.
Yep.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people that just like, they're like, woe is me. When is everything going to open? When can I call in and get work?
Yep.
And other guys just said, hey, we have these platforms. We have YouTube, we have Instagram, we have Twitter, we have all these different platforms so you could just put up videos.
Power through it.
Yeah. Just do it and just gather up a big following.
Again, it goes back to, in major sports with the UFC, when everyone was scared and shut down, they went, nah, we're going to do it in this island in fucking Abu Dhabi.
I know, isn't that
Everyone gave
crazy?
so much shit, but they did it. Nobody got hurt. I mean, some fighters got punched in the face, but I'm saying no one got hurt from COVID.
Yeah.
Everything's all good.
Isn't it funny?
They
They're
were
worried
booming.
about getting hurt from COVID. Meanwhile, they're getting shins bounced off their fucking temples.
But they're like, what about the fighters? Well, you're talking about the most elite athletes on the planet who are in crazy shape.
You think that any of them, like every one of them that got COVID, like, yeah, I kind of think I had a headache.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've had worse allergy attacks.
Well, like, and not only that, like, what was Calvin Cater's next day after the Max Holloway fight?
Probably worse than anything
Anyone's ever experienced other than dying from
Yes.
COVID.
Yes.
No doubt.
No
I
doubt.
mean, John
They
Anik-
should have thrown in the towel on that.
Well,
My thing is
Yeah,
though that like you can blame. I think. Listen, I love you, Herb Dean. You could have blamed Herb there because, like, dude, that kid. Come on. But then if you expect a corner of 4 Boston dudes to throw in a towel during a fucking cage fight,
never
you're out of your mind.
happening.
It's never happening.
Never happening.
Never.
If he was throwing hammer fists off his back, they would have gone, keep going, Calvin.
Knock
You
him
got
out.
him on the ropes. Yeah, they're savages. Boston's filled with savages.
Savages. So it's like that was never gonna happen, man.
Yeah.
So like know the audience. So
Yeah.
for Herb, it's like, dude, they're from Boston. They're gonna throw those
But
fucking.
in Herb's defense, Calvin Cater was still swinging. He was still fighting. It's like,
You gotta live to fight another day, man.
understand.
When you're
understand.
getting beat up like that, and I love Calvin, man. I hate to see it. Love Calvin, and I love Max too. But it's like that was a royal ass whooping. And you're also talking about a guy in Max Holloway who's ready, never been sat down, ever,
not been knocked down once.
dude, never. So
Never.
just know the analytics.
Not only
Like
that,
this ain't happening.
he went toe to toe with Dustin Poirier.
That's what I'm saying.
For
And
5 fucking rounds.
didn't get sat down, dude.
No. And got rocked multiple
Dude.
occasions.
Yes.
That just shows you what a cracker Dustin Poirier is. The fact that Max Holloway, who beats the shit out of Calvin Cater and says, I'm the best boxer in the UFC, and Dustin's like, hold on,
Justin
son.
says, "Hold my hot sauce."
Do you not remember what the fuck just went down just a few
Yeah,
months
like,
ago?
dude, just hold on here.
Dustin Poirier's a bad motherfucker. He's a bad motherfucker. He really is.
He texted me after the fight because me and Theo, Theo's a big Dustin Poirier fan because we're both from Louisiana.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously I'm a Connor dick rider. And so, and I love Dustin. I'm way closer with Dustin, but just for the show, it's fun to bet. And so I bet Theo $1,000 cash.
Whoa.
So as soon as Dustin, I don't know why he thought this, as soon as he got backstage, he must have got to his phone, text me, pay Theo his money. Like, yeah, congrats,
That
dude.
must have been on his head.
Dude, yeah.
Like right after
I was
he
like,
stopped
you know it's all
Conor.
love.
Yeah,
You know
can't
it's
wait
all
to-
love, man.
Can't wait to tweet.
Yeah.
You can't say that with a fighter. You bet against a fighter, you can't say it.
Yeah, he
They
knows
get
it's
mad.
love, though. Yeah, they get mad, take it personal.
They do. Well, they're very emotionally invested.
That's how they should be.
Yeah.
What do you do with Dustin next?
Well, there's two options.
Have you already talked about
There's
this?
No, I have not. But there's the purest option.
Which?
The purest option is Charles Oliveira. That's if you're a purist, you want that fight, and I think I want that fight.
That should be the right thing to do.
If you want to make a shitload of money before Conor fights someone else, you have the rematch. Because
Oh, no, you can't do that.
well, here's the thing: if Conor fights Michael Chandler next, which is a possibility, if Dustin fights Charles Oliveira and then Conor fights Michael Chandler, what are the odds that Conor beats Michael Chandler? I think Michael Chandler is a favorite in that fight.
100%.
Yeah, and which is very dangerous for your money. If you want to make a lot of money, what you do is you allow Conor to have some time off. You figure out a way to market this in a way that you explain a way that Conor could figure out a way to beat Dustin.
Good luck.
Good luck. He did beat him in the first fight, and he did rock him in the second fight. And Conor Dustin actually admitted there was one point in the
rocked.
first round where he was hurt, and he was like, if Conor followed up, I might have been in trouble. But that might be Dustin also saying, like, I would like that
He's a good guy.
rematch.
Yeah, he knows what's up.
And he also might want that rematch.
I think
There's
you
a lot
got to
of
look
money
at
in
it.
that rematch.
And this pains me to say this. I think you got to take Conor out of the equation. He's out. He lost.
Let me throw one more variable.
Go ahead.
The COVID restrictions get lifted. Dublin, Ireland, soccer stadium.
No, hear me out here, dude. And it pains me to say this. I love where your head's at. You got to take Conor out of the equation for the race for the title, because you got what you're gonna have is Charles Oliveira, Dustin Poirier, Michael Chandler, Justin Gaethje.
Yes.
And then Conor, they're over here. They're out of the tournament. You're gonna have Conor versus Nate Diaz trilogy in Dublin. Go ahead and do that. But they're not in the race for the title.
Well, Conor versus Nate Diaz is an excellent option. It's an excellent option because that doesn't offend anyone like myself who's
they
a
both
purist.
have time off.
Yep. Give him some time off. It doesn't offend anyone. And Nate is not the kind of kicker that Dustin is. He's much more of a boxer. It falls into Conor's wheelhouse more. And Nate is also insanely durable. And Nate also has a finish over Conor. Conor does not have a finish over Nate
And
Diaz.
at 55 is where this thing should be settled.
Yes.
And
all
you do
of
that
it's
in Dublin, but
55.
they're out of the conversation of title. Title's Charles
Right.
Oliveira, Justin Gaethje, Michael Chandler.
Yes, but
That's what I
a
would
lot
do.
of people are very offended that Michael Chandler gets an immediate jump right into almost title contention with one knockout over Dan Hooker.
But then you don't know the history of Michael Chandler.
That's true, but then
You're talking about a former multi-time world champion Bellator, fighting the who's who over there, had a finish over Ben Henderson.
But Patricio Pitbull knocked him out how long ago?
Yeah, and who's a smaller guy, but he's also
Right.
has a win over him too.
He does.
Yeah.
Well, no, he has a win over his brother,
No, that's right.
Patricky Pitbull.
Yeah, that's right.
He KO'd his brother, and then Patricio got revenge. But he's a 2-division champion in Bellator.
Yes.
That guy is legit.
Oh yeah.
He's legit. He's like one of those guys who could make it over in the UFC.
Come over the UFC,
easily.
yeah.
The other one is Lima. Lima are the two guys. Him and Lima are the two, and of course Musasi. You know, Musasi is 100% legit. Musasi might be the best 185 pounder in the world that's not in the UFC. I mean, he's the Bellator champion. I mean, I don't see anybody in any other organization that could fuck with Musasi. I think he's so goddamn skillful, and you see the way he beat Lima. You know, he beat Lima in a fight where Lima had his leg in real fucking trouble.
For sure.
Real trouble. But he outpointed Lima. I'm a big Musasi nut rider.
I love Musasi.
And I'm a big Lima nut rider, too.
Yeah. Yes. Stylebender would knock Musasi out in 2 rounds.
Really?
110%.
Wow.
And I love Musasi.
How great would that fight be?
I guess I'm into it. I'm into Stylebender versus Jan. Have you seen that card?
Jan Blachowicz.
That makes my dick hard.
Jan Blachowicz is a monster at 205. You want to talk about a guy who is depleting himself to make weight?
That
and then
Polish
decides
power.
His power is preposterous. It's preposterous.
You think he hit Stylebender? Listen, now, you know I'm a Conor nut rider.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fucking Bukkake Stylebender guy. I'm just... like, if aliens came like, hey, so who's the best? I'm showing them Stylebender.
Well, I think when you look at his fight with Paulo Costa, there is no doubt and I've said this before, I'll say it again, the most sophisticated striker in the sport ever.
The best we've ever seen.
Ever.
Hands down.
Ever. The most
Wonder Boy close second.
Complex. Well, Wonder Boy had a totally different kind of style, right? Because it was weird. That karate style, sideways stance, the best front leg stylist ever.
His movement, his hands
Yeah.
down.
Oh, my God.
It's Stylebender and Wonder Boy as far as like pure strikers, but Stylebender versus Jan, I think Stylebender is a favorite in that, and he should be.
Yeah, he should be.
But I don't think he's going to defend like the belt there. I don't see that happening.
He might. He says he wants to go all the way up to heavyweight and fuck John Jones up.
I know. He keeps saying that. He came on Food Truck and he's like, dude, you keep saying that I'm too small. He's like, I'm pretty big. I was like, you're pretty fucking big. He was taller than me.
Yeah.
By
What is he,
an inch.
6'4"? Is he 6'4"?
6'4"-ish, 6'4" and a half.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to put any weight on, which is interesting.
He wants that speed.
Yeah, well, he also
Have you
says...
seen John lately, though?
Looks so big.
He's so
he looks
juicy.
so big.
He's jacked.
He looks so big. Yeah, he's always doing his powerlifting.
And he's getting the winner of Francis for Stipe.
Yes. That's a dangerous fight.
Francis is the favorite in that.
He's so dangerous.
You know that?
right
Francis
now.
is the favorite.
Francis is the favorite with almost any human being if he catches you on the chin.
Is he the favorite over John if they fight, you think?
Here's the thing with Francis. Here's where Francis becomes the favorite if they do it at the Apex Center.
You're saying with no crowd?
They know that fucking small ring. The small octagon's a big difference,
You don't think?
man.
See, I feel like that's more advantage for John. He's going to take him down.
Stipe.
Oh, you're saying Stipe.
Stipe.
Oh, word.
This is why it's dangerous. Like, you can't get away from him. Like, it's harder to move away. Like, what Stipe has to do in that fight is he has to be mobile and he has to figure out a way to get out of the big shots, get out of the way of the big shots, and then implement his takedown game. I know I had Justin Wren on the podcast the other day, and Justin was talking about how Stipe wanted to bring him into his camp. I told Justin, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, Justin's got fucked up knees, he's got a fucked up neck, he's got fucked up shoulders, and he just got stem cell shot in. Justin's like always got
all the time and shit, and like
always, bro.
Zika up
He
the
had
ass.
he had cerebral malaria. He had malaria in his brain.
Quit going to Africa, dude.
He had parasites in his body that fucked him up for how many years, Jamie? We talked about this.
Quit going out. Do it from online.
Years and years and years of his body being destroyed by parasites. He's had like a real problem over there.
It's still thick.
Malaria 3 times.
Yeah, still thick.
Yeah, still thick. But the point is, I've told him, like, you're always creating these new problems in your life. Don't while you're in the middle of healing, go do a fucking training camp with the heavyweight champion of the world.
Has he been training?
No.
You get fucked up, dude.
Yes.
And Stipe, listen, I've been in training camp with Stipe, but he's a motherfucker.
He's a motherfucker.
He's gonna ragdoll you around, Justin.
Well, also, Stipe is what, 38 now?
Yeah.
And he's got to know this is his last run.
Big time.
Yeah, and Francis, and if he can beat Francis for a second time and prove the odds makers wrong, because I believe he was the underdog in the first fight as well. Yeah. So if he can give a big fuck you to all these people making the odds, and then he goes down in history as the greatest of all time. I think he already goes down in history as at least the most accomplished heavyweight in the UFC of all time.
Good way to put it. Most accomplished, because if gun to the head, if it's a prime Cain Velasquez,
gun to the head,
prime,
I like prime Cain over everybody that's ever lived.
Ever.
I
don't know why he doesn't get more respect.
Well, people forget. It's like Roy Jones' song. Y'all must have forgot. Yeah.
Cain was a motherfucker.
His cardio it doesn't make sense. It didn't make sense. He had cardio like a flyweight, and he was 240 pounds. And when he fucked up Brock Lesnar, when he fucked up Ben Rothwell.
How about JDS in the rematch?
Oh yeah,
he's
dude.
like, oh yeah, he clipped me behind the ear. Watch this, and took years off JDS's. JDS was never the same.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, and then the other rematch,
dude.
Yeah, he battered him. It's horrific. What Cain used to do to people was hit them with a pace that no other human being that's a heavyweight other than Cain Velasquez could maintain.
And I don't think we'll ever see that type of cardio ever again.
Special
individual.
I think he's just uniquely talented.
Yep, me too.
And also his mind was so fucking strong. And the mind being so fucking strong is one of the reasons why his body started blowing apart.
Agree.
Because like his shoulders, his neck, his back, his knees, like everything started going eventually, and that's when he stopped being Cain Velasquez.
Well, when you talk to DC about it, you've had DC in here, but you just talk. You work with DC.
I love DC.
Son of a bitch.
We've tried to make it happen for him to come in here, but we never figured it out.
I love DC, But you talk to DC, who was his main training partner, and when Stipe and DC fought that rematch was to go down as the greatest heavyweight of all time. Ask DC who's the best of all time. Ask how the rounds went with him and Kane.
Yeah,
you hear those stories and you're like, what?
Yeah, he
monster,
said it
dude,
publicly.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at with.
He's like, I don't think I could beat that dude.
It'd be tough.
Yeah. The other guy's Fedor.
I'm not as high on Fedor.
Oh man, Fedor when he fought Crow Cop, Fedor when he fought Nogueira, Fedor
Randleman,
when he was
the
fucking man. He was unstoppable, and he was a unique combination of a guy who could finish you off his back with arm bars as well as smash you on his feet.
Yep.
He was so goddamn good.
I think GOAT, like that GOAT, and they do it in basketball all the time with like LeBron and Jordan, and they do it in football with Tom Brady and these other guys. It's tough to say greatest of all time. It's the greatest of that time period.
Mm-hmm.
That's more fair.
Yes.
Because when Fedor is fighting, listen, it's the Wild West.
Yes.
Has Fedor had some weird Russian shit in his ass from needles? I don't know.
I don't know. Guess, after watching the documentary Icarus from Brian Fogel, where they talked about how there was a state-sponsored doping program where all of the Olympic athletes, I mean, Brian Fogel was just on the podcast recently talking about it. The only people they didn't dope was the figure skaters. And
so with Fedor, maybe?
Well, the figure skaters, it doesn't help. It didn't help his small movements. Like, we didn't need to help them.
But to
They were the
Fedor's
only
defense,
people.
the guys he was fighting were all in the same shit,
yeah,
too.
yeah.
So
Everybody
that's
was
a
on shit.
time period, man.
It's like when Lance Armstrong was competing in Tour de France.
They're all doing it.
Everybody was doing it.
They're also on bikes.
Bill
Shut the
Burr
fuck
has
up.
a fantastic bit about him.
So does Tony.
Does Tony?
Hinchcliffe, yeah.
About Lance Armstrong?
Yeah, bike riding.
No, about transgender.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Different.
but it's in cycling. Yeah, that's right.
Yes. That's that Rachel McKinnon.
I love it.
Yeah, it's a great bit, and it's also true. Like, what are we doing?
Oh, I know.
Yeah, there's a thing about these sports where everybody knows they're dirty. Like, that's like if. Let's say, like, you want to talk about, like, greatest bodybuilders of all time. You got your Ronnie Coleman's, your Lee Haney's, you got your Arnold, there's
Jay Cutler, Phil Heath.
Yeah, Dorian
Dexter
Yates.
Jackson, yeah.
Dorian Yates was the king of I mean, all those guys. You look at Yates and Schwarzenegger and Coleman and, like, who's the greatest of all time? I don't know. What if one of them tested positive for steroids? We're like, well, you got to take him out of the mix.
Oh, come on.
Get the fuck out of here.
Come on.
That's what it's like with cycling.
Yeah.
It's like you can't do that with if you say, well, Lance tested positive, we're going to take away his title. Fuck you.
Well, it's the same with Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa in baseball. You don't think the pitchers were on shit, you
They were
idiots?
all on shit.
Everyone
all
doing
on something.
it.
Everyone was on something.
So it goes by time period.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, right? It's like you can't really have a greatest of all time. Also, in fighting, the other problem is you don't have much time. You have a few years at the peak RPMs, where you could really handle the hard camps
Then
and
the drop off comes.
3-4 fights a year. Your sport is about destroying bodies. There's only so much the body can take.
It's a tough fucking gig, man.
What did you think about Holloway not sparring for Calvin Kattar?
I love it.
I love it too.
It's smart. But all the big boy sports that have been around forever, they don't really beat up their bodies in training. They're so smart about it.
Now.
Like
Yeah.
Ohio State, they don't do that. Michigan, the NFL teams, they save it for when it counts.
Yeah.
And then you look at the UFC and guys are just blast each other in the face. It's just such a meathead thing to do. I think with Max Holloway having such good performance, it's kind of like when GSP came out and we found out about his kind of camp and how he's doing all this stuff and taking care of his body and, doing gymnastics. And then this wave of people started to take it more professionally. I think that's what Max Holloway's doing, saying, I didn't spar. Can you look that fucking good? Like, yeah, I know I'm tough. I know I can take hits.
Yeah.
It's just about timing, stuff like that.
Well, the ties, like when, I talked to John Wayne Parr about his time training in Thailand. He's like, one of the things that's really interesting is the way the Thais spar. They just play tag. Yep. They're not cracking each other.
It doesn't make sense, man.
It doesn't make sense. And they play. They're just trying to get their timing down. They're just trying to, gotcha.
Yep.
They're just trying to find openings. And they're doing it with the elite fighters in the gym where either guy could destroy the other guy's legs and head and body, and you're kicking each other and kneeing each other and elbowing each other. It doesn't make sense to just go to war.
I think once you
all the
get to
time.
enough experience, you can do that. Like if you're an up and comer, you got to pay your dues. But I think once you get a certain level, you can do that.
You most certainly have to get accustomed to getting hit.
Correct.
Yeah.
Know if it's for you.
Yeah.
And see, that's where I'm at. I'd love to get your opinion on this with like the Jake Paul and Ben Askren.
Okay, this is my.
Because I take some offense to it because all my friends, when that got announced, went, "Oh, Ben's getting knocked out," and I was like, "What?" Like that's weird to say. Because let's say you don't know who Jake Paul or Ben Askren is, and I give you their resumes.
Okay.
Let me go through the resumes.
Okay, let's go through.
So let's go through this kid, fighter A. Mm-hmm. He was an Olympian wrestler.
Yes.
He was a two-time national champion wrestler. He won the Heisman in college Division I wrestling.
Hold on, are they wrestling?
They're not wrestling. Oh, I'm glad you asked that.
Okay.
So that fighter A that has all those wrestling accolades,
Yes.
He's a Hall of Famer. So he fought in a steel cage and won championship, big organization.
Yeah.
He was world champion there.
Was he a striker?
He wasn't, but he still won.
Oh, did he
good
do any
question,
striking
though.
at all?
No, good question.
He didn't really stand up much, right?
Not a lot, but I'm glad you asked that because
interesting.
then he went over to Bellator.
Right.
Second biggest organization in the world. He fought the guy he loved, Douglas Lima.
Yes.
5 rounds, didn't get knocked out.
Yes, but he
And
just
then-
wrestled him.
Yeah,
right?
but still didn't get knocked out.
And Korshkov, another killer.
A killer, right?
Ragdolled him.
Killer.
Yeah, but
So-
they didn't strike. He didn't strike with him at all.
Nope,
Right?
but didn't get knocked out.
Right.
And they're in 4-ounce gloves. So, yeah, two-time world champion, different divisions. And then he goes to UFC.
Well, he went to one FC before that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
he was champ in both those.
Right, but he went champ in one FC
Yep,
as well.
yep.
And where they allowed him to take guys down and knee him in the face when they're
For
on the
sure.
ground.
Didn't get knocked out there. Undefeated.
Also took guys down and didn't stand up with anybody.
These are great points. So then he goes over. He goes over to the UFC. He goes over to the UFC, fights a guy in Robbie Lawler.
Yes.
Tough character.
Yeah.
Beat him. Didn't get knocked out.
Controversial beating.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
Robbie got fucked.
But then he
there.
fought Jorge Masvidal and got starched.
Yes.
But there's this narrative on Fighter A, aka Ben Askren, where he, like awful striking, and he did get knocked out by Jorge. I get all that. You're talking about an Olympian, a bona fide Hall of Famer mixed martial artist.
Yes.
That mentality. And now, all right. So there's Fighter A. Let me give you Fighter B that we don't know about. Fighter B.
YouTube star,
did some wrestling in high school, says he ran a 4.440. I'm not calling Jake Paul a liar, but I am saying his gym coach who timed that is a liar. Okay? That never happened. I've been around the game a long time. A 4.4 is very highly unlikely.
Okay.
His gym coach lied to him. But also, he's 2-0 in you say, well, who did he beat up? Well, he beat up another YouTuber, and they beat up a basketball player that won a slam dunk contest who has never fought before.
Yes.
Who would you pick in that?
Well, one thing that I don't believe is that Ben Askren would knock out Nate Robinson the way that Jake Paul did.
He would beat him.
He might beat him.
Guarantee you beats him.
He might beat him. He might. Ben is not an explosive guy.
Not at all.
He's very good at utilizing his superior wrestling knowledge, positions, and technique.
Wearing you out, annoying,
He's
heavy, great
strong as
cardio,
fuck.
terrible body.
He knows how to grab a hold of guys and,
Sure.
and drag you to the ground and implement his style. He won't be able to do that. So his main thing will be out. His main thing will be completely removed.
Wrestling.
Yes.
But the tie-ups and that Olympian mentality that made him a 2-time world champion to the biggest organization in the world is still there.
There's
and
no doubt,
and he has
but
a
he's
new
got
hip.
a month.
And he has a new hip.
Yeah, but that takes a long time to heal from.
Yeah.
And he has a month. He's got a month to train. It's not. Listen.
Now, I'm not saying Ben's going to win, but all I'm saying is
Well, Ben
it's
certainly
crazy.
thinks he can win.
It's crazy to me. We're just all like, oh, Ben's going to get knocked down. Like, he's a fucking Olympian.
Right.
This guy's a YouTuber. Now, granted, Jake does have some skills
skills.
that we know of from
Yes.
Nate Robinson and this other YouTuber.
Well, not just that. You can watch him hit the bag, watch him hit pads. You can watch him spar. He's got good timing. He's got very good hand speed. His technique is excellent. He's got very good striking technique.
And for me, this fight gets interesting. Let's say it goes past the third round. What's Jake look like when there's a little bit of adversity? When he can't knock out Ben, then what do we get?
Yeah. Or
That's where I'm at on it.
Yeah, I mean,
But to say that Jake's going to starch him is insane to me.
I'm gonna watch.
Oh,
I'm
take
gonna
my
watch it.
fucking money.
I'm gonna
dude.
watch
It's
it.
the perfect
Yeah.
opponent for Jake too.
Yeah. What do you think about Logan? His brother Logan boxing Floyd Mayweather. That's even.
have you
more
heard about
crazy.
that?
Yes.
He got delayed
Oh.
because they did like this weird paper. I think there's 2 reasons why it didn't sell well, and that's why it got pushed because it didn't sell well. So they
Oh.
did this weird pay-per-view thing where if you bought it early, it was like $14.99. If you bought it a month later, it's $29.99. If you wait till the night of the fight, it's $69.99. Americans and the world's not used to that pay-per-view platform. I don't know what the fuck I don't even know when it is, but I don't know what I'm doing on that February night. I'm going to wait till that night. So they based it off the sales, pre-sales, and they pushed it because the sales weren't there. The interest isn't there right now.
But that's just because people don't pay for things in advance.
I know, figure it out.
That's
now,
not
if it was
smart.
like 50 people that bought it, all right, there's probably not a lot of interest, but I don't know how many people bought it. But, you know, I'm curious. I'm more curious with Jake and Ben.
Well, if I was Logan, I would love the fact that they pushed it because that would give him more time to train because it's just a time thing. And he's still fucked, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it doesn't matter.
Literally fighting
It doesn't matter.
the best boxer ever, right? Or one of. He's certainly in the argument as the best boxer ever. You know, it's like the guy could use a couple of years of real training just to be competitive.
They're not going to push it years.
He's way bigger, though. That's the thing. He's way bigger than Floyd. Way bigger than Floyd.
Isn't it weird we're breaking this down in 2021?
It's funny. It's funny. And people are mad. Like, look, the guy's got balls.
Look.
He's willing to fight. He's willing to fight literally the best boxer of all time. Yeah, it's a freak show. But guess what? Fucking Fedor fought Hong Man Choi. Okay?
Well,
you know,
we've seen
been
this
seeing
before,
freak shows forever.
People forget. Kimbo was this early on. Kimbo was kind of this. He was a big YouTube star.
Sure.
When he came to the UFC, he still had haters.
Yeah.
Difference. There's a little difference there, but, you know, Kimbo's a lot older, you know.
Yep. Good point.
They threw him to the
Good
dogs.
point. Well, they wanted to make it hard for him. That's for sure.
That's a shame. They did him wrong. They did
Do
him
you
wrong.
think that he would have been better off if he fought he did fight in Elite XC
and was
Remember
winning?
that?
They were giving him guys that he could
Well,
beat.
until Seth Petrozelli came around. I remember that fight.
Remember how that went down, though? He's supposed to fight Ken Shamrock.
And Ken Shamrock wasn't getting enough money, or maybe
like in the back, he cut himself in the back, and then it came to Kimbo. And like, here's Seth.
Yeah.
Now, if you know fighting, like, ooh, Seth is a bit of a beast, especially in training. We know he's a motherfucker. If he gets his head right, he's a dangerous dude. Kimbo's team doesn't know. They're like, all right, yeah, give us that fuck with the purple mohawk and get starched.
Dude, I was in Georgia, and I was backstage, and I just got off stage. I was working at the Punchline in Atlanta. And I just got off stage. And I got off stage, and I was ready to see Ken Shamrock fight Kimbo. And I looked up at there's a video of it. There's a video of me calling the fight.
Saying Seth's going to knock him out?
I said, Seth is going to fuck
'Cause you
him
know
up.
your
I
shit.
never say this. I'm like, Seth's going to fuck
You
him up.
never say that,
And
yeah.
he knocked him out in like, 20 seconds or whatever it was. But I'm like, I told you. And I'm like, I'm like, Kimbo's a bad motherfucker. Rest in peace. He was a great guy, too. But it was a bad matchup.
But
Seth Petrozelli,
nightmare, dude, nightmare.
And in that time, during that time period, Seth Petrozelli was in his prime.
Yeah. But also, even Kimbo, like when he was in the Ultimate Fighter, like it was all predicted, like it was all already arranged that he was going to lose in the first round. Like they set him and Roy up.
Yeah.
Like Dana took Rashad and Rampage in the back, and they came out like he's fighting Roy, and we're like, that makes no sense.
Yeah.
All right. They just want him to lose.
And Roy just got him in that crucifix and noogied him.
You get on Kimbo's face, he's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, dude, you came on Ultimate Fighter. They control this, man.
That has got to be one of the most frustrating positions to try to get out of in an MMA fight. The
crucifix with Roy?
Oh, my God.
Nightmare.
Especially because he's so heavy. 250 pounds on your face, maybe even more.
Even more,
yeah. And tying you up, and tying your legs up, and just your face is just
and now
wide
imagine,
open.
Kimbo, you're a white belt.
Yeah.
You're lost, dude.
You're lost.
Nightmare.
Yeah.
It was a shame. They shouldn't have done that to him.
What do you think they should have done, though?
If I'm Kimbo, I mean, it's good for me because how I got my career. He was the biggest Ultimate Fighter ever. He should have came to the UFC as almost a regular guy, or just done his thing and controlled the matchup so he got more experience and then came over to the UFC. Because when you're in the UFC and they're trying to prove a point against you, which it doesn't make sense to me. It's the same thing with Conor. I don't know how you feel about this, but it's obviously easier to say in hindsight now, but like Conor fighting Dustin Poirier after basically only fighting, 5 rounds in 4 years, doesn't make sense. You know how the game works. I know a lot of guys are like, oh, ring rust isn't real. I beg to differ, dude. And for Conor to take all that time off and he has all these other businesses going on, he beat Cerrone, so we're like, oh, he's ready to go. Cerrone's a little older. And then fights Dustin Poirier, and the number 2 lightweight in the world. Like that's not the move, man. His team should have been smart about it.
What do you think they should have done?
Fought Nate Diaz, the trilogy, get that win. Hope his chances of winning that fight are way better than beating Dustin Poirier, this fucking dog who's been in the game and lives, eats, and sleeps fucking in the lightweight division. Should have fought another guy who's had time off, and they figure out together in there. I don't know if he wins that. That's a tough fight for him too. But what you're doing is, in hindsight, you fucked up the business plan, man. Because now Conor,
sorta,
you have to.
Well, you got to take a chance, right? The chance.
But we don't need to take a chance.
If he wins, if he beats Dustin, he's in line for a shot at the title, and he gets a MD uncrowned champ.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's better ways to go about it, because we can still get there, but we can do this over here to make sure he's at his peak by the time he gets there.
Yeah, but isn't this Monday morning quarterbacking? Because
I said in hindsight here.
If he knocks out Dustin Poirier, he's the fucking man, and he knocked out Dustin before many years ago, obviously. But if he felt like he could do it again, yeah, you got to give him a chance. He also needs a challenge. Like, I think a guy like Conor,
Nate Diaz isn't a challenge, though?
He is a challenge.
Big time.
But Nate Diaz is not even necessarily willing to fight him.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Nate hasn't fought in forever.
Nate I can't, because Nate's waiting for that Conor fight.
Well, last time Nate fought, he fought in Madison Square Garden against Masvidal for the BMF belt.
That was a tough one.
But
again, you're talking about a Nate who's had time off fighting a motherfucker.
What's happening here?
That's Jake training with Masvidal.
No way.
Apparently Nate wants to fight him, but Nate has two fights left in his UFC contract.
He wants to fight Masvidal? Who wants
no,
that fight?
No. Nate wants to fight Jake Paul.
That's hilarious.
See, Jake has to be careful, though, because he's stepping into the real world of
Yes.
fighters with Ben Askren, who's a Hall of Famer. You beat him, where do you go from there? No celebrity, no NBA guy's going to fight you, because you just beat a real guy.
Yeah.
Now you're fighting guys like Nate Diaz. That can't be good.
No. Yeah, well, it's. I feel like that kid could fight. And
Which one?
Jake Paul. And if he wanted to fight and just be a regular boxer, I think he'd have a real chance at having a career in boxing. Now, would he get the kind of attention he's getting right now after a knockout of an NBA player? No. But it would be a slow build. But I'm looking at his skills.
If he wasn't a big YouTube, famous, he went to Trish.
Yeah.
You're looking at, 10 years?
You're looking at
8
some
years?
time. I mean, I don't know how much
Amateur?
time he spent boxing before he had those two fights.
I think
how much
2
time did he
years.
spend striking?
2 years.
That's it?
2 or 3 years, yeah.
But he was no training before that? Nothing?
Did some wrestling.
When did his brother have his first fight with KSI? When was that? That was the first fight he had, right?
Yeah.
They had a draw, and then he lost the decision, right? And that was, when did that start?
Was that 2 years ago?
2 years ago?
Yeah.
3 years ago? But I got to think he was training before that.
They're athletic kids, man.
Yeah, they
so
are.
if they put their mind to something, they're going to go pretty far.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, if you looked at him as just a boxing contender, be like, I'll keep an eye on that kid. We'll see where he goes.
But that's not where he's at, unfortunately.
No, exactly.
And it's
point.
It's a double-edged sword. It's the Kimbo Slice thing where you're going to run into somebody, and it happened to me, dude. I was more athletic than a lot of these guys, and you get so far, and then you meet a vet who's like, "You're athletic, yeah, cool, man. You have a heavy right hand. All right, cool. I've seen this before, dude. You're going to run into a real vet." And that's going to happen. Eventually, undeniably, it's going to happen to these guys.
Oh, for sure.
Greg Hardy.
Yeah.
You're talking about an all-pro NFL player, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking freak. But it doesn't matter, man. There's not enough time in the day to get the skills that's going to take for you to beat a Overeem, to beat a Francis, to beat a Curtis Blades. No matter how much, it doesn't matter who's your coach. It doesn't matter how many times you train a day. You're never going to get there, ever. You're just not.
I feel like with Greg Hardy, he almost would be better off in just striking. It almost seems like with a guy like that, he got taken down, and who just took him down and mauled him?
The Polish cat,
Yes.
Tybura.
Yes, Marcin Tybura.
Yes. There's nothing on the ground.
Nothing.
Like not proper framing, shrimping. Like
it seems
day
like he
one
had no
shit.
idea what to do.
Yes.
I feel like a guy like that, it's like he's got so much to learn. It's almost not even possible.
It's
But
not.
he could fuck a lot of people up standing.
And that's good. So
Yeah.
you're always going to be around that 10 to 20 range. You're never going to crack those top guys ever.
It seems like,
And I know it sounds like I'm being negative,
no,
but
you're
it's just not.
We're just looking at it's almost like you're looking at mathematics, right? You're looking at the amount of time that it takes to develop a skill.
There's not enough hours in the day.
There was one of without naming him, there was a guy that I knew that was a black belt in jiu-jitsu who was going to take on an MMA fight, and I know he was doing no striking at all, and he was just starting to do some striking to prepare for an MMA fight that was a couple months away. And I was like, you got to not do this. You got to not do this. And he's like, why? I go, because what you can do to people on the ground, someone can do to you standing up. You have to understand this. Like, I know you think you're really good because you're really good at jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
So you have this idea that I'm a guy who fucks people up. I go, but there are things that happen when you're doing stand-up. There's places that people can put you in that are real similar to places you can put people on the ground where they just have no chance. They have no chance.
And the fight starts on the feet, and those guys that can put you in those positions on the feet can negate what you want to do on the ground.
Yeah, because
you're
a lot
never
of those
going to get them there, dude.
Yeah, and they know how to stop takedowns.
Yeah.
And you're not a wrestler. It's not like an elite wrestler.
Again,
you're
your
really good
ceiling's
jiu-jitsu guy.
here. No
Yes.
matter how much you do it, you can box with everyone. Jason Perillo, Mark Henry, doesn't matter. Your ceiling's here, dude. So you can do it.
Yeah.
But there's a ceiling.
And striking is such a weird thing too, because like if you are a guy like here's one of the reasons why I'm skeptical about Ben Askren, because he's not explosive. He's not fast. He's not a fast guy. There's some guys that get into striking even as wrestlers with no striking history, but they pick it up really quickly. They just have speed. They just have speed and power. They know how to do it. And there's other guys you look at them, you're like, this is never going to work. Like, you don't have enough time. There's not enough time in your life.
Yep.
You literally needed to learn when your body was growing, and you didn't. And now you're doomed. You know, it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
and to be negative like that, people are like, well, how can you say that?
I know.
But you can
They can
say
learn.
that.
I'm like,
Nope.
you got to realize the guys ahead of them
Yeah.
are so far ahead. Unless they have a time machine, it's just
It's impossible.
That's the analytics, man.
You learn certain things while your body's maturing.
Yeah.
If you look at a guy like Floyd Mayweather, who learned boxing when he was a child, if you look at, there's a lot of kickboxers that learn striking, whether they start out in Kyokushin or Muay Thai or whatever it is, they start out so young, their body develops with that ability, and you're not going to learn that. You're not going to be able to do what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're fighting in a limited sport, a sport with limited rules, like whether it's kickboxing or whether it's boxing, where you only can do this one thing, you're gonna fight a guy like if you're gonna fight a guy like a Conor McGregor or a guy who's a legitimate striker who's really good at this one thing, man, it's gonna take you forever to get that good.
Yeah. Again, it sounds like we're being negative, but also, as you mentioned earlier, your career is pretty finite. Like, no one's doing this for 10, 15 years unless you're a complete fucking freak. The majority, I think the average career is I don't know what it is now. It used to be a year and a half.
How crazy is Diego Sanchez? The fact that he's still doing it. He's still doing it. And he said wants to have one more fight, but he said his time is now to heal. It's not to fight. I'm like, if you say that, shouldn't just stop? But I think he just wants to go out on a good performance or something like that.
Yeah. Hopefully the UFC does him a favor, gives him a good opponent. Again, it's all in hindsight. We're Monday morning armchair quarterback here. But, that's why Conor, he knew that the timing in the ring rust was going to be an issue. So he begged the Dana and the UFC for fights. And he leaked those tweets out saying he wanted to fight Diego, and everyone's making fun of him. He's like, I don't give a fuck who it is. Diego said he was down. I'm just trying to get in there before after facing the number 2 guy in the world.
Well, if Conor fought Diego, that would actually be a good fight for Conor to get tuned up, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Up.
But
you don't get that in MMA.
And that's Conor's thinking. Everyone made fun of him, but I think fighters that makes sense. He's trying to get used to the lights, flying, the bust of the stadium, getting used to all those nerves. That's what he was doing there. And we all made fun of him. But I think you notice most fighters didn't make fun of him. Fighters were like, that makes sense.
Well, it's just smart because that's what they've been doing in boxing forever. Boxing.
They do it in football. In every major sport, we do this.
Yeah.
That's what they do, man.
Yeah, but in boxing, you have to fight the mandatory contenders, and sometimes those mandatory contenders, they don't really belong in there, and everybody's like, but we should be fighting Joshua. It should be Fury versus Joshua.
Yeah.
We got to make this fight happen, and then Fury's like, let me get some rounds
let me tune this guy up, get under the lights, feel the pressure, and then I'll go there.
Yeah, let me get some rounds in.
They know what they're doing,
They
man.
do know what they're doing.
They know exactly what they're doing. Everyone made fun of Conor for it.
Well, UFC's never going to allow that. If you're a superstar, you're fighting top level fighters because that's where the money is.
And it's a shame, man,
interesting, right?
because you're cutting your own tail there. Because you could have really milked Conor out, dude. Diego, Nate Diaz, and then he fights for a title.
All right, let's imagine that Dana White dies in a fiery plane crash. and they call you up like, look, Dana, Dana was a great promoter, but Brendan Schaub, you make a lot of sense, and we'd like to reformat the way we do things, and I think you should be the new head of the UFC. And
my life's too good to take on that job. Be a beast, but I would definitely do things different as far as that stuff.
Do you think that would be possible to keep the same revenue models? Because they're making a lot of money.
We're going to make more money, dude. Because we're going to make more. We're going to drain Conor for everything that we can out of him. He's fighting Diego. He's fighting Nate Diaz. Then he's fighting this guy.
Do you know what kind of resistance they would have if Conor McGregor fought Diego Sanchez? All the athletic commissions would be like, no.
Oh, get out of here. I fought Roy Nelson. I had 2 fights. He had 30.
That's true. But that was a long time ago.
Yeah. You think now? Oh, you think Abu Dhabi gives a flying fuck?
No,
Abu Dhabi
does not give a flying fuck.
It's the Wild West, baby.
Do they even have, like...
Have you ever heard of a commission out there?
Yeah.
I mean...
What do they have over there?
I don't know. We're going to do it on a boat if we want.
Yeah, they could do it on a boat.
They're talking about it.
Really?
They're talking about Joshua Fury on a boat.
Like an aircraft carrier?
Yeah, big ass boat, and then only having like the elite of the elite pay for tickets, and tickets are like $25,000 a piece.
But what if the water gets
real Lionheart shit?
What if the water gets rocky and you're moving around and it's just like
you're making too much sense?
This way.
Hey, you want to see the fight or not, dude?
I do.
How fun would it be if they're all like rocking back and forth? That should be sick.
It would be so crazy just for historic purposes. Just for the historic.
Well, we got to look at the weather, the calm waters. We got to talk to some real fucking sea guys, Yeah,
but you have to have the people out there too. You have to have an audience. So if you're gonna have to have an audience, like they got to know where to go. Like you can't just tell me you're gonna tell me where to go when you know where the fucking sea's gonna be calm, bitch.
Listen, man, it's not. You want the fight or fucking not, Joe? You're making too much sense.
It happened in Gangs of New York. I was just watching it. They had like Leonardo DiCaprio's character figured out like move offshore, you'll be fine. Just fight there.
Yeah.
And that's what
What did they do in Gangs in New York offshore?
They were doing all sorts of fighting.
Yeah, they're
betting,
fighting.
and all sorts of shit.
Really?
Yeah, it was like it's a part you don't like learn about. It's
I
when
don't
they first
remember
meet.
that
It's
movie.
early,
I haven't
yeah.
seen that movie in so long.
Oh, The Butcher.
I loved it when I saw it. Have you ever seen a photo of the real Bill the Butcher?
Oh, there's a real guy, Bill the Butcher.
There's a real Bill the Butcher. Have you ever seen it, Jamie?
Did Daniel
I know I have
Day-Lewis
it on my
win a Oscar for that? God, it's fucking
He
good.
certainly should. I mean, I don't know if he
Well,
did.
it's a drawing, I guess, right?
No, it was a photograph.
No
It was a
way.
photograph of yeah.
The real Bill,
No,
did he?
I got it, I guess, but that's
You got it?
doesn't make sense.
Let me see if you got it. Yep, that's him.
Oh, wow.
That's the real Bill the Butcher. Yeah, that is the real guy. I mean, look at his fucking top hat and shit. And that was from the Bowery Boys in New York City. Dude, New York City was literally like a Wild West town at one point in time where they really did have wars where they fought each other with axes and fucking giant knives and shit.
Insane.
Yeah, like all that shit was real.
Well, that's going to be my next tattoo.
Isn't that crazy? Bill Cutting. That was his name.
Wow.
Yeah, look at the photo of him in the lower right-hand corner right there, Jamie, with the hat right now. Yeah, look at that. Look at that face, man.
That's some style to him. He wore that hat all the time. You got to figure their hats were stinky. They always wear hats all the time, right? And when they take it off, they're all sweaty.
If you were a baller, you wore a hat back then.
Yeah, man.
Like if you were a gentleman. Like think, he's got a butcher's robe on. Show the full picture again below that, Jamie.
They wear a lot of suits, too.
Yeah. So look at this. He's got this butcher's robe with a meat saw and a cleaver and a knife that's strapped to his waist. And he's got a top hat on. Like he's out at a formal gathering. Like how strange.
He's slanging dick.
William Poole, a.k.a. Bill the Butcher, in 1850 in New York City. Wow. Wild shit, man.
I had no idea that was a real guy.
It's a real guy. Yeah, that movie was at least loosely based on reality. You know what I saw another movie that's loosely based on reality I watched the other day while I was working out is The Revenant.
Oh,
Ooh, I
fantastic.
forgot how good that movie is.
And Leonardo DiCaprio wins a fucking Oscar for not speaking.
Oh my God.
Really? You're giving the award for that?
He won.
All the movies?
Yeah, but you believed it not
God, it was good.
speaking.
When that bear eats some
God.
ass first.
Yeah. All the battles with the Indians.
How did Tom Hardy not win an award?
Shit, he was
God,
good
he
in
was
that.
fucking good in that.
He's good in everything. That guy,
Everything.
he's good in Venom, which is a goofy movie.
You know, he only did Venom because his kids.
Really?
Yeah, he's like, my kids don't watch my movies. They're too serious. So when I got a Marvel thing, they're like, Dad, Venom's awesome. He's like, really? He didn't even know what it was. And they're like, you should do it. He's like, all right, I'll do it.
That's
just to make his kids
hilarious.
happy. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I like
it's
that.
badass.
I like that. I like that.
He's fantastic.
He really is. Yeah. You ever see the videos of him training for Warrior? Yeah.
No, I heard he was on a bunch of juicy
Oh, he
juice.
had to be.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, do you know, you ever look at the YouTube channel More Plates, More Dates?
No.
More Plates, More Dates is an interesting channel. The guy's he's a meathead chemist, a brilliant guy who's also a meathead. And he breaks down a lot of stuff with, guys using test and
Sick.
Yeah, I mean, he's real honest about stuff. He's honest about his own use, steroid use, cycles, and stuff like that. But he's got these. He was breaking down these video clips of Tom. That's him.
Great
So
hair.
and that's Tom Hardy. That's what he
Holy
used to look like.
shit.
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
fuck. Remember when he did the Bronson?
Look at that.
He was juicy for Bronson.
Yes. Well, he goes through it. This guy, Derek from More Plates,
he goes
More
through
Dates,
his-
goes through his whole career, like how he started getting thicker, and then all of a sudden, right before Bronson, and then here he is in Bronson, he got pretty thick. But then in Warrior, literally looked like.
Holy
See, he starts
fuck.
Warrior on the left, but now go deeper into it. When you see him in Warrior, yeah. There was that one photo of him.
Holy
look at the size of
fuck,
his
dude.
fucking traps. Look at him there. Come on, dude. I mean,
I don't think he's denying it though. Listen,
No,
if
why would he
Hollywood
deny
called
it?
me and was like, "Hey, Brennan, why don't you be Batman?
Yeah.
But you got to put on 40 pounds of muscle." I'm like, yeah, dude, send your guy over.
Yeah,
Every
but-
Monday, inject me in the ass.
They don't deny it. They just don't talk about it. That's all it is. It's not
Kind of like
yeah.
Mr. Olympia. We all know
Yeah.
what's going on.
Yeah, here's a perfect example. When Christian Bale went from The Machinist, when he was literally starving himself to death, he was dying. I mean, it's like an awful movie, but a crazy physical transformation.
Yes.
The only one that's close to it, and he's actually the greatest physical transformation I think ever for a film. And the other second one is Matthew McConaughey
Dallas Buyers
in
Club.
Dallas Buyers Club.
Fuck
very,
yeah.
very close.
Respect.
Gets a
But,
little.
no,
help.
he's getting. No, what you need to do
He's getting
with
body shamed.
what you need to do with him is Camille. You need to see what he used to look like.
It's insane.
He's probably the biggest transformation in the history of.
My favorite is social media.
That photo right there, right there with the striped shirt, the upper middle. Look,
Nuts.
Yeah, look what he used to look like.
Nutsos.
And look what he looks like now.
They did that. That's what he said. That the Marvel team paid for everything.
Of course they did.
Of course.
That's why
Of course
you
they
couldn't have
did.
done it without it. is
Of
what he said.
course they
course.
did.
That's what we're
saying.
doing.
Well,
Yeah,
hold
yeah.
on. No. He could have done it without the Marvel team. He would just have to pay for it. He's got money.
Yeah.
But
okay.
they couldn't have done it without steroids. It's not possible. He's
Impossible.
in his 40s.
Yeah.
He's in his first of all, if you are in your 40s, it is very difficult for you to gain mass like that.
And I think it's funny that on social media they're like, "Oh, this is white privilege at its finest. You guys respect Thor and you respect the white man who plays Batman, but as soon as the Indian guy does it, you guys accuse him of steroids." Like, no. We know they're on steroids. We're saying he's on steroids too. This isn't a race thing.
Well,
This is what people do.
Here's the issue. The issue was nerds were mad that he used to be a nerd and now he's jacked.
He's a dime piece.
And then
now.
also, he fucked up because he made a tweet that toxic masculinity is like, he made a tweet about the disease of toxic masculinity.
no.
And then someone put that tweet right next to a picture of him looking all juicy. I love it. But what is toxic masculinity? It's being an asshole. There's no toxic femininity either. It's being an asshole.
Yeah.
You're being an asshole if you're a woman. You're
All
being
gender,
an asshole
yeah.
if you're
Trans,
asexual.
whatever it is.
You're just being an asshole.
Yeah.
Like you can be jacked and be a nice guy. There's a lot of really
Yeah,
nice guys that are
man.
jacked. It's a silly thing. It's not toxic masculinity. It's shitty human behavior. That's what it is.
Yeah, with him, it's not a race thing. We called out Chris Hemsworth, The Rock. Everyone,
Yes!
everyone gets
They're
it.
all juicy.
Yeah.
The Rock is so juicy.
And why not?
And he's one of my favorite people ever. Love him.
Love him.
He's a fucking animal.
The best.
Look, the
But
guy.
he's on steroids.
Of course he's on steroids.
But why, if you're The Rock, why wouldn't you be on steroids?
listen, man, I am so open about my hormone use. I'm so open about testosterone replacement, human growth hormone. And because I have feel nothing. Like, it doesn't bother me at all.
What are they
I
gonna
have-
say?
I have no feeling. Like, I'm not like hiding it in shame. Like, I'm like,
No, I celebrate it.
I'm 53. Look at that, son.
I bet your
Where you
wife
get
loves
that?
it. Yeah, you're jacked.
Dude, I lift weights every day. I'm always working out.
How's that dick working?
My body works great.
Yeah.
Everything works.
You have small balls though,
Look at
huh?
that. No, they're okay. Look at that. Small balls. Look at the size of them.
Yeah, I mean, what? But why not?
Why not?
Dude, wait till I get on that same shit you're on. Wait till I fucking...
But you did it for a little bit. Why'd you stop?
TRT?
Yeah.
My face, I got moon face.
Well, that's just food.
Yeah, but my body didn't react well to it.
Oh.
At all.
Interesting.
Yeah. I got like really big, but not
Yeah.
like cool big. I just get like my clothes didn't fit. My neck was all fat and I was sweating all the time.
That's
I was like
interesting. So-
snapping on people.
Was your body... Maybe you're taking too much, man.
I think so.
Who was giving you this shit?
Doctor?
What did the doctor say? All you want.
Yeah.
Just take a
Do whatever you
fucking-
want, man.
a
I'll send what you
full
need.
syringe.
Yeah.
Go all in.
I don't need it though right now. I'm good right now.
Okay.
I'm on a diet. My energy's good. My dick
been
works.
biking
Oh,
a
my
lot,
dick
right?
didn't work either.
What?
Dick was it didn't matter if you put
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Dick did not work.
Wait a minute. While you were on testosterone?
Yeah. And
That makes no sense.
It does though. It does
Why?
though, because your body, the way it reacts, your testicles shut down. So also my sperm count. There's a few guys that TRT and testosterone, synthetic testosterone, destroys your sperm count. So my wife was trying to get pregnant, and I was on TRT, so I had to go jack off in a cup. So embarrassing. Jacked off in the cup. Holla. They're like, if you over here, and here's the VHS with the porn. I was like, bitch,
Did they
it's
give you porn?
2020, dude.
I got a phone.
Yeah, I was like, hey, let's get out of here. So jacked
They
off in
have
the
like
cup.
a porn collection.
Oh, dude, a whole
at
catalog.
the jack off place.
Yeah, just old bushes and fucking nightmare. So I used my phone. Anyway, jacked off into the into the cup, and they're like, yeah, you have no sperm. Are you on? And the doctor goes, you're on TRT. I was like, you fucking tell me, doc. He's like, yeah, whatever, dude. Your sperm's not working.
So did you get on clomiphene or something like that?
Yeah, to do all that stuff.
Right,
And then,
to just reboost
Yeah.
your testosterone production.
Yeah.
What about what is that stuff called? HCG.
HCG, yep.
Yeah.
Use some of that, injected some of that.
And that it just jacks up your testosterone production,
Yep,
right?
I used all that to get back, and then I feel good, man. I'm just trying to get lean. I don't want to get bigger.
You're doing a lot of biking, right?
Tons of biking.
Yeah, you really like that, huh?
Love it. Obsessed.
Better
with
for
it.
your knees than running.
Yeah.
it is? Yeah.
Yep. Healthy diet, a lot of biking. I just get like my trainer came over the other day and we're hitting mitts. I did it for so long for real. So I'm just like, why am I doing
Get
this?
bored, right.
Yeah, I'm like, what is this? So biking's
get
just
it.
new. I can listen to podcasts or like books on tape. And I just fucking go, man.
It's an interesting thing that happens with a lot of fighters where after they're done fighting, like the idea of training for like fight style training, it just seems so like that's a job. Like I don't want to.
I need a
Fuck
mission.
with that.
I need a mission.
Yeah,
you got to get.
mission.
I need a mission. I need a reason why I'm doing it.
You should fuck with yoga.
I did yoga for a long time.
Yeah?
I like yoga.
Yeah.
But but just biking, it's just
Well,
I
you
don't.
can't do yoga at a studio in LA anymore because of communism.
Yeah, you're right. Thanks, North Korea. Yeah, we can't do anything.
Jesus Christ.
LA's Russia with a beach right now, man. Listen,
What do you think they're gonna do about LA? So I don't think it's gonna bounce back.
you're crazy.
I think it's gonna
You
be
keep
like
saying
5
that.
years. I'm right.
No.
Let's put a bet.
Well, what's bounce back? Listen, I'm a homebody. I don't get. Listen, I hope everyone opens up and all the businesses are saved. As long as you open the Comedy Store, the Improv, the Laugh Factory, Nice House, and I can go there at night. The rest of the stuff, do what you want, man.
That's true.
But
I
there's
hope
no
I hope those
traffic
places-
right now.
But all the restaurants are gone.
Postmates.
What are they gonna get it from? Their house? They're gonna cook you up some pancakes and put it in a fucking
No, I hear
styrofoam.
you. It's a
cup?
bummer. It'll bounce back, dude.
I think it's gonna be a long time, son. There's not enough money. The people that all had these small businesses, that all had these restaurants, like where are they gonna get the money to start back up again?
It's gonna be dicey. That's why our taxes are high, and that's why we need
They're gonna jack them up.
the brother that you showed and the Indian dude. Get
Yeah.
on it. Team up together.
I think he's from Sri Lanka.
What'd I say?
Isn't he from Sri Lanka?
Yeah, you're right. What'd I say? Indian?
Yeah.
Sri Lanka.
Yeah, I think California's got a long fucking road, but I think it's good for the other country to get some Californians in and spice it up, just as long as they don't fuck up their politics.
Bingo.
Bingo.
Because Texas is a purple state, brother.
Yeah.
Like, you go around Austin, like, it's,
This is blue.
you better watch your words
It's
here.
blue as fuck here.
Is it blue now?
Yeah, this is pretty blue. Austin's always been blue.
Which is weird to move and then vote the same way from where you moved from.
Yeah, they think
Learn
they
from
know
your
better.
fucking mistakes,
You people
dude.
and your fucking freedom, you don't know any better. We
Crazy.
need regulation here.
It's nuts. It's nuts.
It is weird. It's weird, but that's what people do. You know, people think they know better.
Dude, I went to Mar-a-Lago when I was doing Palm Beach. I just wanted
Did
to
you
see
really?
I just wanted to see where Trump was at. So I drove down there, and I didn't know it was a club. I thought
Country
anybody
club.
could go in there. I didn't know that. So me and my brother, we rented a Lamborghini. Figured the Lamborghini would get us in.
Yeah.
We go to pull in, and the guy's like, "There's security everywhere, like high level security."
Gee, I wonder why.
And he goes, "Name?" And I go, "Brendan Schaub." And he goes, "Okay." And I go,
Fighter and the Kid,
And I'm like, "Yeah, come on, dude."
Below the Belt on Showtime.
King
Food
Sing.
Truck Diaries.
What are we doing here, man? Million things. Million things. Ridiculous. What do you want? Rogan? What do you got? Nothing, dude. And he's like, "Are you a member?" I'm like, "No." And he goes, "Oh, yeah, this is membership only." And I go, "Okay. Well, how much is a member?" I figured, can I get a day pass?
Yes, $250,000.
200 grand.
Ooh, that was close.
200 grand. 200 grand. And I went home sad because I couldn't get in. Went back to my shitty Airbnb. My brother booked it. Not my fault. We go to this shitty Airbnb, and I looked it up. You get every fucking... It's worth every penny. That place
Really?
looks fantastic.
What do you get? You have to live there. You don't want to be a member and live in L.A.
No.
Do the Palm Beach Improv once every year and go down to Mar-a-Lago.
No, you don't want to do that.
Ooh.
It's pretty dope, though.
Do you golf?
No.
What are you
Too slow.
fucking doing?
I just want to hang out. I just want to see what it's all the fuss is about, dude.
There's no fuss
Like the
without Trump.
president of the United States. Like
No,
he's-
the former president. The
Yeah,
president of
there
the
you
United
go.
States is Joseph Biden.
You're right, Joseph. Josephs are balling these days.
Someone has to tell him he's a president.
He's like, wait, what? Really? I won? Like, yeah, dude, we keep telling you, man.
I'm a senator.
Like, no, man. So, yeah, but think about our tax-paying dollars kept flying Trump from the White House to there for a reason. So if he's the president of the United States, he can live anywhere. He's living there. So I had to check it out. So I looked up homes around Mar-a-Lago. Jesus Christ, dude.
Crazy, right?
Dude, nuts.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to live there. There's no energy, but...
Well, that's West Palm Beach? Is that what
Yeah.
that area is? Yeah, that's a very wealthy area. What does that say? What's the title say?
Pictures from inside the club.
No, what does the title say? You scroll up there. No, there it goes. Donald Trump returned to Mar-a-Lago. Take a look inside his exclusive resort the public never sees.
Yeah, and you can't get in. Take
So
it from
he's
your
back
boy.
there partying at Mar-a-Lago. What do you think he does now?
Watches CNN and just talk shit.
Give me some pictures.
So he bought it, I think, for he bought it for $8 million in 1985. It's worth $300 million now. Wow! Smart business adventure.
Well, he could pay that off. All of his debts he's going to have when they come for him.
Yeah. What a waste of time.
They're coming for him.
What a waste of time. Hey, let's move on.
They're coming.
Let's not waste our tax.
Yeah,
and
they're
all that.
coming for him. They're coming for him. There's a bunch of people that want to make their name on prosecuting him. You know, if they can get
Because
after
you
him.
didn't let Joe Exotic out. You could have let that guy out. Do you let Kodak Black out? But you let my boy Joe Exotic out?
It's kind of weird, right?
Come on.
Why didn't he pardon Snowden? Why didn't he pardon Julian Assange?
Yeah, it's very strange.
Those are the two big. That's the big boy moves.
That would have been cool.
But there was apparently a lot of resistance to him pardoning Snowden. A lot of resistance.
I bet.
I think pardoning Snowden would be the ultimate, and Assange too, both of them. Just that's the ultimate. If he really hates the system, you really hate the intelligence community, you really hate.
That's what you would do.
I mean, like widespread spying on the American people.
Yeah, I wonder why he didn't.
Oh, he's probably worried about the repercussions. Like he probably is hedging his bets in terms of like what they're going to prosecute him for.
Well, I think the rating of the Capitol really scared the fuck out of him.
He
They're like, you're on the hook for this, Bubba. And he's like, oh, shit, I was going to pardon Snowden. Like, well, he can't now.
Yeah, he fucked up with that. That is one of the classic last days in office fuck-ups that will go down in history. But it kind of defines who he is in terms of like how the kind of power that he tries to wield.
With his followers.
Yeah, try to tell people you got to show them strength,
You know what the problem is, though, is, and listen, I'm not super pro-right or pro-left, but the problem is like that gets, those people represent the right now. Like those crazies. Like that's not all Trump followers.
It's a problem.
That's
Yeah.
a big
It's a problem.
Yeah.
It's a real problem because they can use it to diffuse real, honest criticism of left-wing ideas. You could lump someone in with those people that tried to storm the Capitol.
It's insane.
There's some legitimate conservatives, never Trumpers, guys who had no, David Fromm. There's a bunch of these guys who are really interesting, conservative intellectuals who had no desire whatsoever to be attached to any of Trump's ideas. And they're like, he does not represent conservatism. But now they look at people like that. Anyone who's on the right.
You're the enemy.
You're the enemy.
They're silencing
You're wearing
them.
a fucking Viking helmet on, and you're shirtless and living with your mom.
I mean, what was the agenda there, man? What would you guys? They're like, we got
Being
in.
a loser.
Yeah, dude. How about the one, that fucking chick, man, the one that got shot in the neck?
Crazy.
Imagine you're their parents. You're like, wait, why did she get shot in the neck?
Well,
right in the White House.
Do you
or
know
the
that?
Capitol.
Have you ever seen that lady's rants?
Yeah, it's tough.
Unhinged rants
Nuts.
that didn't make any fucking sense about all kinds of
She
things.
was a mother.
Was she a mother?
Yeah.
Ugh.
That's the biggest disappointment.
People get wrapped up in these online communities, man. These QAnon communities and these online right-wing communities, and they really think that they're patriots. They really think that they're the new Tea Party. They're the people that are going to fix this country.
They also think social media is real. Like that, social media is the end-all, be-all for them. It's the world's so much bigger than just that. They say 1 in 10 people are on social media when you walk down the street.
That's it?
1 in 10.
It's only 1 in 10?
1 in 10.
Really?
Yep.
How do the other people find out about your shows?
I don't know.
Yeah, I
Confirm that, Jamie.
As time goes on, I think we're going to find more and more that it's really unhealthy to be on social media. It's really unhealthy. I got a new phone, and it doesn't have any apps on it. I have no apps on my phone.
I'm the same.
Yeah. I used to have them in a folder called Addict, but then I would just go to that folder.
Yeah, well, yeah, because you're an addict.
I just go, I don't care. I just want to go stare at things and scroll mindlessly through people's feeds.
Yeah, I was on social media too much, and then I was on my phone watching YouTube or something like that, and then my son's like, "Dad, get off your phone," and he's 4. I'm like, "Oh shit, this isn't good." You're 4 and you realize you have a problem, so I got off.
Yeah,
and my heroes growing up, and whatever guy you look up to in comedy when you got into it didn't have social media, man. You know, they didn't have those influences.
well, they would have if they had it.
But I'm just saying, back then they didn't. You know, and it's probably a good thing.
Chappelle doesn't have shit. He doesn't use anything. He has an Instagram account that they set up for when he released that video showing how he was being taken advantage of by Chappelle Show being on all these streaming networks, and then they wound up pulling those streaming. I mean, it really worked. It was one of the most gangster moves ever. I mean, it was an incredibly effective move, right? He puts up this heartfelt 20-plus minute video of him being funny, but being honest and breaking down what happened and how, you know, they kind of took advantage of him. And then the streaming sites all took his video down.
That's the power of Dave Chappelle. He's the GOAT, man, to me.
Yeah.
Again,
it's
it's
the greatest alive.
Yeah.
And if you want to talk about the impact of a comic, because he's not just impactful as a great stand-up comedian, and clearly he goes down, you know, historically as one of the greatest of all time as a stand-up comedian, but also he had the best sketch comedy show ever.
Yeah,
that show only lasted 2 seasons, and it pound for pound, laugh for laugh, it's the greatest sketch comedy show of all time.
Speaking of power, you know, think of Kevin Hart, who's probably the most well-known comedian on the planet. You know, as far as ticket sales goes, he's the most successful of all time. Most successful tour of all time.
Yeah, he does like 40,000 seat arenas, football stadiums and shit.
Dude, yeah, he did Soldier Field in Chicago, for God's sake.
It's crazy.
It's nuts.
He filmed his thing in Philadelphia. He did 40,000 people came to see him to film a special.
He's in Jumanji, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah.
So, you know, he launched a new show, and this isn't Kevin Hart. He has a team. He launched a new show called Inside Jokes, and he posts on social media like, "Hey, coming to I forget what network, Inside Jokes." And Schultz, who's been doing a show for I think 4 years called Inside Jokes on YouTube, millions of views.
Same concept.
Tweets to him, goes, "Hey, Kevin, did you not look into it? I've been doing this show for however many years, has millions of views. It's already taken. Guess you got sick of sitting in ice baths." Because he has that ice bath show. And Kevin responded back. It was like, "Dude, I know in your world, this seems like I did it on purpose. I didn't. My team's looking into it. I apologize. You know, we're going to change everything." Pretty dope.
Well, Kevin is a great guy. He would never do something like that on purpose.
Agree.
Somebody probably came
His team
up with
did.
it. That's a problem. It's a problem. You know, I remember when there was a real issue at the Comedy Store because late night talk show writers would come in and they would watch people do stand-up and then steal their jokes.
Take their
and
ideas.
Then guys would wind up doing those bits in their sets. And I know that that's happened to... There's more than one. I don't want to even name any names of hosts, but more than one host, whether they knew it or not, was doing stolen material.
They probably didn't know.
They might have known. They might not have known. I don't know.
I don't
think
know
they
them,
know.
yeah.
But
I'd assume a team, though.
it was a giant issue. There was
sure,
a giant
dude.
issue with certain sketch shows that they were stealing people's acts and then making sketches out of those shows.
Speaking of stealing, did you see Carlos Mencia on Bobby Lee's show?
I did not.
It is riveting. I called Bobby when I got done with it because I wasn't around the Comedy Store in comedy when that was going down when you guys had the
I
issue.
saw that he was on it, and I watched like a few seconds of it, but I was like, oof.
It's pretty fucking entertaining because Bobby, he goes at him, man. He's like, you definitely stole some stuff, man, and like you need to apologize for it. And he's like, well, I don't know if I did. He's like, no, you definitely stole some stuff, dude.
Yeah.
And you just see Carlos' side from it. Again, I only know one perspective, right? And just hearing Carlos' side. Again, I wasn't there. I have no fucking clue what happened. I believe you. Carlos is like, the problem is like I'm not on the internet. I'm not on social media really.
Of course he is.
Well, he's saying like he doesn't really have a voice on there.
So an Instagram page.
Yeah, but not. He's not doing it. He's
He's
older.
on it all the time.
Is he?
Yeah, it's not true.
Well, he's saying from like this again. Yeah, you're probably right.
Well, he's just not popular.
Yeah, he just hasn't
been
adapted with the
stuck
times.
at like a certain number of Instagram followers for years.
I don't even know how many followers he has, but he's saying he wasn't able to get his narrative out and apologize to the people.
That's not true. No, I mean he's come up with a bunch of different versions of why he is not at fault.
Mm-hmm. And Joe, I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not
No, I
defending
know
that at
you're
all.
not.
I'm just
I know
saying
you're
it was super interesting because I only know your version, Ari's version. Bobby Lee tells me about all these stories. I've heard all these stories. I've never had any interaction
He's
with
got
him.
a few different versions. One of
Yeah.
his versions is I've recorded all my shows since 1993, and if I ever stole a joke, I would go back and say, listen, I could show you that I did it before you, or if I did, I'm sorry. Like, he's trying to find a way to excuse what everybody
behavior.
knows he did.
Mm-hmm.
What he was doing was copying other people's material, copying premises, and he was doing it openly. It was, I mean, there's a video from a show. There was like this documentary they did where he admitted it. He actually said, "Yeah, I copy it." It's like what a rapper remixes it. He
I
goes,
think
"Is it
Patrice
stealing?"
O'Neill posted that when
Yeah.
he was alive, did a talk show and was like, he admits it here. And he goes, yeah, I stole those jokes.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Now he says that, now he says he didn't. Now he says, he comes up with a difference. Look, the guy has been tortured. That's the sad thing. It's like, how does the man deserve? How much punishment does he deserve for what he did?
He's probably still not stealing.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what he's doing.
I know he does like 2.5 hours on stage.
But here's the thing that does happen to comics, and this is where it's really weird. Comics that steal, they have a really good beginning of their career, and then they get called out for stealing, and then they try to not steal. And the contrast between their early material when they were stealing and the new material when they're not stealing is
Clear as
fucking
day. Yeah.
stark.
Yep.
It's staggering. And there's many. We can name them right
Sure.
now if we wanted to be mean.
Yep.
And some of them have done specials recently.
Do you want me to do it?
You don't have to.
Okay.
But it's brutal. The difference is fucking brutal. And that difference is because they were plagiarizing. They were taking other people's premises. They were doing it on purpose. And some of them, they've been real calculated about it, like threatening the comedians they stole from, sending DMs to them. Or text messages, making them real uncomfortable,
Putting pressure on them.
Putting themselves in these protected categories or saying they're part of certain movements that, like I've not known for you to be helping this movement. Like, you're talking about this movement on stage and then stealing their premises and stealing their bits. Like there's some dark shit that goes on,
and it catches up with them. To your point, like their specials are dog shit.
Specials are dog shit, and that's where you know. Like, there's a thing with comedy that happen. There's a bunch of things that can happen once you become successful, and then you continue to make specials. One of them is you kind of run out of stuff to talk about. Or you spend 10 years developing your first set. and then you have to do another set afterwards. It's just not as good.
Or you can't relate to the people. You're so famous
Yep.
that your
Yes.
material's not relatable.
Those are both
Kevin
big-
Hart's
big
pretty good at
factors.
that.
Well, he's smart. He's also very ambitious, and he hires a lot of writers, and he's also he's a very honest person.
You're
right?
good at it too?
Yeah, I work hard.
Oh,
I work hard.
Yeah,
you know, I
I know
work
you do.
hard. I work hard, and I'm fucking ruthless on myself. I'm a very
You're also comic at
self-critical
heart.
person.
I think a lot of those people that we won't mention, a lot of them,
They're
you know,
really actors. They're
Yes.
acting like comics.
There you go.
What they really are is they're attention whores. They really want attention in any way they can get it, and they've chosen stand up for their vehicle
There you
or
go.
their venue.
and they made it in other avenues, and they come back to comedy.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. But the difference is so obvious, and that's one of the if you know, like people, it's hard for bands to maintain top performance. Like a lot of bands, they start out and they have a bunch of good albums, and their albums start to suck. It happens with comedians. They get real famous, they get soft, and then the other problem is their audience loves them. So they can kind of do anything, and they go out there and the audience loves them, and then the material suffers.
That's why Steve Martin quit. Have you ever read that book, Born
Yeah.
Standing Up?
Yeah, yeah.
He said he went out there and he had this like ukulele thing, and it would come down,
Mm-hmm.
and one night it came down, but it fucked up, and so there's no bit. He had to have it, but the audience was laughing right away, and he's like, oh fuck, I'm done. He's like, it's not even the material anymore. They're
Mm.
laughing at whatever the fuck I do now.
Yeah. It's
So he stopped doing it.
stand-up comedy in some ways is in some ways there's a parallel that you can make to martial arts,
How so?
in that if you don't put the real work in, when the time comes to perform, it shows.
There's a ceiling.
Yeah.
Again, there's a ceiling.
Yeah.
Because to your point, if you don't put the work in, you're going to get to a certain level, right, where you're playing to your crowd. You're playing to your crowd, and they think everything's funny. You're like, man, I'm fucking killing it.
Right.
And then you're going to go to the comedy store where it's not your crowd or something.
Yeah.
And you got to do real jokes, not
Right.
references of your famous buddies or
Right.
to this where people
Right.
don't know you. You got to do real jokes.
Right.
And you're
You
fucked, man.
You got to do jokes for people that aren't your fans.
Correct.
And that's the difference between maybe sparring with people that are in your camp that maybe know how good you are to fighting someone who doesn't give a fuck and they're trying to kill you.
Yep.
And then you see how much work you've really put in. It might not be the best comparison in the
That's
world.
a pretty good comparison,
but
though,
the-
especially from the world we come from.
Yeah. The comparisons are all like, you can't not work. You have to put in the work, and the work is uncomfortable.
Well, here too. I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's right.
But to your point, though, it's like if you're a wrestler and you got to a certain point where the takedown is working every time, every single time, and then you get to a guy where that takedown's not going to work, and if you didn't work on those skills, where if the wrestling doesn't work, where you got to find other ways to beat them, you're not going to have a career, man. You lose 3 and you're out of the fucking UFC working at Starbucks.
Yeah.
So you got to put in the time for that other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good analogy, and I bet that exists in almost every endeavor.
Correct.
That there's certain things you don't like to do; they're uncomfortable. You know, like how many guys do we know that are like really good strikers? They don't want to go to the ground because they don't want to get tapped, so they don't train on their ground game, and then they wind up getting in a situation where they're on the ground, and you know they get tapped. Didn't you tell me that Justin Gaethje never trains jiu-jitsu?
Not a lot.
Yeah.
When we were training, I don't want to out him or nothing,
Yeah.
but now when we trained, he was just like, I think his mindset was, because I'm such a good wrestler, I'm not going to learn the leg locks and the armbar
Right.
shit. I'm just going to learn how to defend what they're going to do and get back to my feet.
But
that was his process.
As savage as that guy is,
One of the best.
imagine how good he would be if he like fully embraced submissions.
Well, to
Because
your
he's
point,
such
look
a
what
good
happened when he
wrestler.
got to Khabib.
Exactly.
Where it's like, oh, you don't know, you're gonna get lost if we go down there.
Two times.
I'm gonna take you down there.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. Well, it also seemed like Khabib kind of maybe wanted to do that and get it done in that way.
Dude,
rather than
inverted
beating him up.
triangle?
Amazing.
An Khabib,
From mounted.
a stubby Khabib
Yeah.
did inverted triangle. That's insane.
From a mount.
Nuts.
Yes. Yeah.
Nuts.
Crazy.
At that level,
Yeah. Well, Khabib is just such a monster. I don't think we really even know how good he is.
I don't think
we
he's
just-
been pushed,
I think we. I mean,
and that's why he quit.
I think he quit because of his mom, right?
I think he quit because of his mom, but he did want to get to 30-0. He promised dad 30-0. But I also think he's just like, I'm not getting up. What are you gonna toss me? What do you got for me?
I want to see Justin versus Dustin Poirier again. Gaethje and
Yeah, me too. I'd love
Poirier
to see
again.
that. But I want to see them each get a win and then do it.
Yeah.
And that's where my tournament comes into play.
Charles Oliveira might be the motherfucker, dude. He might be the motherfucker.
You know what's weird too with Charles Oliveira's
he might be
motherfucker.
He might
Agree.
be the motherfucker.
I would say he's the most dangerous out of everybody.
He's so
in all
talented.
aspects. He's
Everywhere.
so talented.
His ground game
Experience,
is off the charts.
ground game, striking,
Yes.
his reach now, his
Yeah.
distance, his footwork, his mentality. Bad motherfucker. Going back to Conor, he said something. He said this loss doesn't feel like it usually does. He's like,
He can't walk.
He said that I'm sure
And he
that-
got knocked out.
I'm sure
Yeah.
physically that hurts, but also he's like, I'm not as upset as I should be.
Oh,
Where when I hear that, I'm like, oh, that's not good.
what does that mean? What did he mean by that, you think? Maybe he put in his all and he just lost and he doesn't feel like he
And he's fine
left
with
anything
it.
on the table.
Yeah, that's fine.
So maybe he says, okay, we're going to dust ourselves off and make the adjustments.
Yep.
In that case, maybe it's a good thing that it doesn't hurt him. Because,
Agree.
Look, the guy is wealthy beyond imagination, right?
Most
He's got-
successful fighter of all time.
yeah, not just from fighting, but also Proper 12. I mean, that whiskey company is fucking killing. He's made hundreds of millions of dollars just off
Crushing
that
it.
whiskey company.
Is it better than Tiger Thick? I doubt it. Carry on.
I've never had Proper 12. You had it?
Yeah, someone brought it over. My brother-in-law brought it over for the fight.
How
I
is
said,
it?
bring whiskey. Brought them. Like, all right, dude. What'd you spend? $30?
Is it bad?
No, it's not bad. You get what you pay for. Like if you're a real whiskey drinker, it's not bad. Don't get me wrong. It's not bad whiskey at all. It's a clean whiskey.
It's not Josh Barnett's Warbringer War Master.
I've never had that. I heard it's fantastic.
Fucking good.
But just based off Josh's label, probably
Yeah,
Josh is better.
It's fucking good. It's interesting because he's got no financial motivation at all. None to fight. He's fighting for enjoyment, for legacy, to push himself, to test himself. Obviously looked in tremendous shape. I saw some of the training footage.
Looked phenomenal.
I talked to people that saw him train, and they were saying he is in fucking tip-top magoo for this fight.
Yeah, I know.
But listen, those low calf kicks are a game changer.
But here's my problem with that, Joe. That's nothing new. It's not like
new, but it's new in Conor's career. If you go to early Conor's career in 2014 when he fought Dustin, no one was throwing those low calf kicks.
in 2014, but this day and
Except
age.
Benson Henderson.
Benson. I think Benson was we gotta give him credit. He's probably
Yeah.
the first to do it.
Yeah.
And we kind of make fun of him. Remember he was jabbing the quad
Yep.
and throwing those low kicks? You're like, what
Yeah.
the fuck's he doing?
But his low kicks didn't have the same kind of effect for some reason.
Different animal.
Yeah, I mean, the way, Justin's the best at it. Justin Gaethje, in my mind, for my money, is one of the best leg kickers that's ever fought in the sport. He destroys people's legs. Michael
down.
Johnson's leg, he destroyed Khabib's leg. Khabib's leg was in all kinds of trouble in
Yeah.
that fight.
Yeah.
It's just Khabib's fucking force of a champion, that mind. He just pushed through it. The fact that Khabib fought that fight with a broken toe too.
Nuts.
I mean, he's just such an unusual monster of a man. But Justin Gaethje, he chops everybody's legs apart. Everybody. He's so good, and he's so good at being tight in the clinch
And
He can
getting
be in
away
the
with
clinch,
it.
and then chopping leg kicks down from a clinch.
Nuts.
So he's tying you up. He's got like an overhook, and he'll leg kick you.
And he learned that kicking from a boxing coach in Trevor Whitman. So it's like, what the fuck is going
It's amazing.
on? Yeah, that's
But
how
if you go
talented
back
he
to his
is.
World Series of Fighting fights.
Oh, dude, he
my
fucked dudes up
God,
with that.
dude, destroyed people's legs.
But again, to me, it's Conor not being active. Like those kicks, dude. Again, it's nothing like we're like, oh, we've never seen that.
But yes, but no, because Conor fights in that wide stance. He puts a lot of weight on his front leg, and he's looking to tee off on you with a big left hand. He keeps his right leg out, and the problem with that is Dustin's a fucking southpaw. So it's right there. It's right there for him because of the southpaw to southpaw.
And they're both in
stance.
south. Yeah, there
Yes.
you go. But also, if you're Conor, you've been doing so much boxing, those leg kicks it's not going to be a thing.
Right. Yeah.
It's just not. You're not that conscious of it. You're not really working
I
on
think
the
he's just got
the
so
muscle
much
memory.
confidence in that fucking.
He did rock
piston
him.
He did
He
rock,
did rock him.
He's got so much confidence in that left hand. But here's the thing: I don't know what his motivation is. Right? Let's assume he has the same motivation for another fight as he had for this fight. He's not going to fall for the same trick twice.
No.
He's a smart guy. So it's going to be interesting to see, can he compete with the top echelon of the sport? Is he going to be motivated to get himself in shape to compete with the top echelon of the sport?
He can get his body in the best shape possible. To me, it's all here for Conor. We know he has the skills to beat anybody in the world. It's here, man.
Firas Zahabi thinks he quit. Firas Zahabi thinks that when the going gets tough, Connor finds a way to fold, and he said, once his leg was hurt, he just sort of folded against the side of the cage. And
it's hard to argue with Faraz. I don't know if Connor has quit in him, but listen, if I have that much money in the bank and there's a yacht waiting for me outside, it's probably like, all right, let's get out of here.
Imagine if he won, though. Pulls up in a yacht and then starches everybody.
Fantastic.
I mean,
and that's what I was hoping for.
When he's sitting there meditating on the yacht, I mean, get the fuck out of here. How cool
you see
does
that
look?
fucking yacht? It's nuts.
How much does a yacht like that cost?
They had to lend him that.
Oh, I don't believe so.
No.
Listen to me.
He's going to go broke if he bought that yacht.
He has 2 yachts, according to Dana.
That's a bad idea.
Dana and I were on the phone yesterday, and he told me Connor just bought a Lamborghini yacht.
That's not smart.
Here it goes. Conor McGregor splashes out $12 million on a super yacht and pays cash. Wow. Since the bout ended. Oh, after he got fucked up. Oh, Floyd Mayweather. Okay. This is after he lost to Floyd Mayweather. Since the bout ended, the 29-year-old has been living it up on the party isle of Ibiza with his family, enjoying good food, renting a lavish villa, lounging in the Mediterranean sunshine, and splashing out on a $12 million super yacht in
but
cash.
look at that other yacht. Estimated between $360 and $400 million. That's how you go broke.
This is an eye-opening level of opulence to witness firsthand, he posted, referring to Sailing Yacht A vessel valued at $360 to $450.
I bet you doesn't own that.
When I was in Italy, I was there, and Steve Jobs' yacht was there.
If you're Steve Jobs, get a yacht.
Steve Jobs is dead at the time.
Oh, okay.
He's already dead. So somebody else had it. Maybe his family. Steve Jobs' yacht it's basically an Apple store.
What the fuck is that?
It's so weird looking.
That's Steve Jobs?
No, this is the one that's $350 million.
That's Connor's?
Oh, that's the $350.
Sailing yacht.
Yeah,
that's a Four
That's
Seasons.
preposterous. That's a sailing boat. Yeah. Look, it's got sails.
Holy shit.
That is sails. Get the fuck out of here with that nonsense.
And then you got to pay for the staff.
That is so dumb.
Just seems like a bad idea
listen,
to spend your money.
I hate to brag about my rich friends, but I have a rich friend that look at that thing. That'd
be fun as
fuck. That's the sailboat?
It'd be fantastic.
Pretty cool.
Do a podcast on there.
Joe buys a yacht.
Bro.
Dude buys a yacht.
Podcast on a yacht sounds like a lot of fun.
That's like fights on a yacht?
I have a friend who actually bought a yacht. So odd. This is the weird world that I live in now.
You have a different group of friends.
And this friend that bought a yacht, I was going, well, who drives it? He goes, there's a full-time staff. They live on the yacht all year round. They're there all the time.
Did you have to pay their salary?
I go, what? He goes, like they're all year round. Yeah, they live there. They're on his yacht right now. I go, so it's their yacht. I go,
yeah.
It's like if you have a house.
It's a timeshare.
And there's a bunch of people partying at your house, and they clean it up right before you come in.
Yeah, that's what's going on.
And you smell other people's farts in your sheets.
Yeah.
And like you
Some
don't think
bringing girls back to that yacht all the
people
fucking
are
time?
Banging chicks on your
Every
bed.
port?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, dude.
It's so weird. Like, are you counting all the liquor you got in there? Because I bet a lot's gone.
Yeah, so he pays full time for the staff.
Yeah, I was like, what are you talking about? Like, you have a full time
different level.
But I go, couldn't you just rent a yacht like when you wanted to? Like, you have money and then they take care of all that shit. Isn't that a service?
That'd be smart, right?
It seems like a better way to go. You don't have to think about
But
it.
he has so much money. He's like, listen, I don't know, dude. Why ask so many
he's
fucking
a
smart
very
questions?
Wealthy businessman, my friend, and he just said, "Well, it's like I didn't think about it before I bought the yacht."
Does his name rhyme with Elon Dusk?
No, he doesn't have a yacht.
Oh, okay.
Elon doesn't even have a house. He doesn't want to own houses. He's selling all his houses. He rents houses.
He succumbed to fucking social media pressure.
I don't think so.
He was talking about. He's like, "Oh, you guys want to talk shit about me? My 3 houses? I'm going to sell them." It's like, all right, dude.
Still rich as fuck. Still going to talk shit about your money.
Yeah, it's like, dude, just you get a house.
He is now the second richest man in the world. I don't know how he's going to deal with it. He's just.
I don't know what he's going to do.
Jeff Bezos has surpassed him.
How'd Jeff Bezos pull it off?
Oh, was it the GameStop CEO?
Nuts,
This
dude.
Sailing Yacht A is the largest sailing yacht in the world by a lot.
A sailboat, right? But there's other yachts that are big. Can you just show me a picture of Conor McGregor's yacht? Because his yacht.
And Dana said he owns them?
He owns 2. He bought that one, and then he bought a new one that's a Lamborghini yacht, apparently.
We know boats are a bad investment, Bubba. But he's like, dude, you know how much whiskey I'm fucking selling?
Yeah, there you go.
Different level, man. Did you see?
So that's his $14 million yacht.
That's the Lamborghini one, it says.
That's the Lamborghini one?
300-foot Lamborghini.
300-foot Lamborghini
At least
super
paint it
yacht.
yellow.
Wow, look at that thing.
Did you see what Floyd said about Conor?
No.
He was saying how it's racism at its finest because we celebrate Conor spending money and acting all extravagant, but then he gets hated on for acting the same way. And then he said, this is my favorite part. He goes, and the worst part is the hate's from my own people. Well, then it's not racist. How do you not have someone proofread your shit, dude? Well, that's not going to work, Bubba.
Well, listen, Floyd is a brilliant marketer, and he's probably saying this to get a lot of attention, and it probably gets him a lot of attention. But ultimately, Floyd's whole persona was about being a baller.
Floyd Money Mayweather.
Yeah. Listen, if you go back to Floyd's early days, Floyd was Pretty Boy Floyd. And Floyd was
He's a motherfucker.
much more aggressive.
Different fighter.
Trying to stop people and beat. Look, there's no disrespect to Floyd Mayweather. He's one of the greatest of all time. But one of the smart, if not but one of the smart things that he did was later in his career, he fought much more defensively, but everyone wanted him to lose. So he realized, like, hey, I can take less damage, box defensively, beat all these motherfuckers, have everybody paying to see me lose.
Yeah.
And then I make all the money.
It was brilliant.
He's brilliant. He's
More
the
guys should
most,
do it.
the most brilliant boxer ever because he's the guy that when you look at his career, over 50 fights, undefeated, and was only hit hard 3 or 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
His
Yeah, we can
whole
count.
career. His
Yeah.
whole career.
Easily.
Never dropped. Never really fucked.
you know
Maybe
who-
was he dropped?
No, he wobbled.
Yeah.
Never
right.
dropped.
Never dropped.
No.
And, beat the best of the best. Beat everybody. But shut Canelo Alvarez down.
Canelo's 21.
You know?
But yeah.
Still.
Young Canelo. Smart business decision.
He was just amazing. You look at
Canelo
his
runs the
career.
game now.
He does run the game now.
He's pound for pound number 1 on my list.
How about him knocking out Kovalev? How crazy was that? Like,
Filthy.
Jesus Christ. Kovalev was a legit 175-pound champion, and seeing Canelo knock him
Dude,
out.
boxing's kind of popping right now,
It's kind of popping.
especially in the lightweight division.
How about the heavyweight division? The heavyweight division, there's so much craziness going on.
How so?
Well,
You're
just trying to
saying
figure
Fury
out
Joshua?
the Fury
And
Joshua
they're saying
fight.
and Eddie Hearn said that's going to happen. He said 1,000,000 times.
And White is going to fight Deontay Wilder, but Wilder still wants to fight Fury in a third
And
fight.
that's not happening.
That's just the Wilder stuff made me so sad.
It bums me out, man.
All of
his
his
excuses, it's like, oh man, I've never seen someone deal with a loss worse than Deontay Wilder.
wish-
I love Deontay Wilder.
I
I've
do
worked
too.
with him several times. Fantastic human being.
He's a great human
Great
being,
dude.
and a really fun guy to be around. Like I wanted to, I wish I was close to him. Like while it was going on.
Yeah, I would
Like,
text him,
What are you
like,
gonna
dude,
say?
yeah.
Don't say that.
Yep.
Don't say that. Listen to
Agree.
me. This is what people are gonna think. Even if you believe that, you can't believe he had egg weights in his hands. You can't believe that.
No, dude.
There's no way. First of all, a guy punches that fast with egg weights in his hand.
And then the other bummer is he fired his team.
Yeah, that's not good. He fired Breland, right?
Bummer.
That is a bummer. What is he doing now? Who is he training with?
I don't know. It's a bummer. Hope they figure
When a
it out.
guy loses like that after just starching everybody, it's got to be like a world changer.
To our point that we talked about earlier, and this is, could be dicey. You remember he started boxing late, 24. There's a ceiling, man, and his ceiling was high, but there's a ceiling. Then you run a guy like fucking Fury, who can do it all: footwork, can move, can punch. He can be a defensive fighter, a pressure fighter. So when Wilder had that right hand from God, which is one of the greatest right hands of all time, if not the greatest right hand of all time, when a guy can negate that and has seen that in his career, you run a guy like Fury, this is what happens.
I think the blueprint was established in the 12th round when Tyson Fury got up. When Tyson Fury got up, weathered Deontay Wilder's onslaught, but then started winning.
Nuts.
And won the rest of the round. And even had Deontay in trouble at
Nuts.
one point in time. Crazy.
And then in the rematch goes, oh, you can't fight going backwards?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I've been doing that my entire career against
Yes.
Eastern Europeans and the amateurs. So if I put you on your back foot, you can't fight? Watch this. And
Exactly.
fucked him up, dude.
Fucked him up.
Now, if you don't have those skill set, if your only skill set's going forward, throwing the right hand, again, to your point, the ceiling's here, man. Now, his ceiling was here, but
it's
you're going to
also-
run into somebody who would negate that.
Even the way Deontay reacted to the first knockdown, like he was complaining that he got hit behind the head. He was like upset. Like, what happened?
I know.
It's almost like you can't believe he's losing.
I know.
You know, have you ever seen a person that does that, whether it's a video game or playing pool or ping pong? Some people can't believe they're losing.
Yeah.
Like, you fucking did something.
Yeah, I
you
know.
did something wrong because I lost. Can't be me.
I know.
There's a thing that people do when they're not used to losing.
Especially that guy.
That guy.
Who was like, I'm going to try out boxing at 24, took the world over, got a bronze medal in the Olympics.
A year and a half into training.
Fucking nuts, dude.
Nuts. Never happens.
And then starches everybody leading up to it. Even
Literally-
Ortiz. Luis
literally
Ortiz twice.
The greatest, I would say, up until that fight with Fury, the second fight with Fury, the greatest knockout artist in the history of the sport.
Agree.
He's all knockouts. All knockouts.
Dude,
Stavern was the only guy who made it to the distance, and then he starches him in the rematch.
And what he did is Severn, he should have been arrested for. That was, dude, I was ringside when he fought Brazil. Showtime flew me and my brother out.
Oh my God, that knockout.
But they sat me next to Brazil's family.
Oh.
And it was like when he was walking out, you're like, oh, dead man walking. And his whole family like, he's going to do it. And they have shirts on. I'm like, oh, these poor people have no idea what's going to happen.
That was after the Tyson Fury fight, right?
Yeah. It was in between. Dude,
Yeah.
it sounded like a shotgun went off at the fucking Barclays Center.
Oh.
Whack!
Isn't it funny how those long, thin guys can generate so much power at the end of the punch? Like Tommy Hearns when he was in his prime. So many guys. There he is. Listen, I'm still a giant Deontay Wilder fan.
I love
and
Deontay
I hope
Wilder.
he gets it back together again. I hope he proves everybody wrong and starts fucking people up again. Bomb Squad!
That always scares me when he does that.
Dude, when he was on top, he was a motherfucker. No one can stay on top forever. But let me tell you something. When history goes and looks at the career of Deontay Wilder, it's a
it's a great one.
extraordinary
Legendary.
career. Even if he retired today, even if he said we're done, he's
Hall of Famer.
an extraordinary career. Like
And a great human being, has so much more
Yes.
living to do.
And the fact that he became a boxer because he needed to generate money because his daughter was sick.
Fantastic story.
It's amazing.
How can you not root for him?
How could you not root for
And then
him?
Joshua versus Fury. Oh, dude. Eddie Hearn, take my fucking money, bro.
Take my
Do you hate money?
Can I
do it on
fly-
the ship?
Can I fly in a COVID bubble all the way over to London and
God,
watch that? Can you put
sign
me,
me
in a,
up,
in a
dude.
balloon?
Whatever.
What do I have to do? I mean, I'll go there and not wear a mask. I'll let everybody spit in my mouth. Joshua versus Fury site fee will be biggest money in heavyweight history.
Yeah, that's fair.
So are they trying to do it in a full arena? Where are they
I
doing
don't
it?
think they've announced
Depends on COVID, but there's
Yeah.
been talk that they're going to
Go
do
to
it
Miami.
on a boat.
They
Go
could.
to Miami.
It's an option, apparently.
Miami's an option?
Florida,
Of course
or,
it is.
No, do it at the Wembley, man.
Florida
They're both
doesn't
English.
give a fuck.
They're both Brits.
Yeah, but the Brits don't care. They'll fly over to Florida.
Now you know the
Florida
Brits.
Airlines.
Yeah.
Florida Airlines, like, we don't give a fuck.
Like, do
Cough,
whatever, dude.
cough,
Yeah.
take a shit in the aisle,
Yeah, we don't give a fuck.
bring an alligator.
Bring an alligator.
Come on board.
That what's interesting about that is with Fury and Joshua, the Brits are going to side with Fury.
You think so?
Yeah, he's going to have more support than ever.
But Joshua's a huge star over there.
He is. Fury's the biggest star now.
Is he?
Yeah.
Because of the Deontay Wilder knockout?
The Deontay Wilder knockout, him not piping down about his mental illness. It just the people rally behind him.
Really?
Yeah. And then Joshua, because he lost to Ruiz and the media kind of turned on him, he's like, dude, I don't want to claim England anymore. I want to fight out of Africa. I'm African.
Really?
Yep.
When did that happen?
I don't know. Was
he born in Africa?
No, both his parents were born in Africa, and then they got a divorce. Moved while his mom was pregnant. Moved to England. He was born and raised in England. When he was like 6 or 8, he did like some schooling. He went back to Africa for like a year, did schooling, and then came back to England. Born and raised in England, but he wants to claim Africa. He doesn't like the way the English media treats him.
After the Ruiz fight.
Yeah, he said
But
everyone kind of hated on him and jumped off board.
Yeah, you can't read those social
That's
media
sports,
comments.
Bubba.
That's how it goes.
That's sports.
But it's also that sets up the stage for your retribution. You know, your rise back to the top of the heap.
Fury's my favorite fighter of all time. MMA, boxing, I fucking
amazing.
love Fury.
He's amazing. Tell you what, man, very few people would have made that kind of adjustment in their style to fight a completely different style in a rematch against a power puncher like Deontay Wilder. Just
Insane.
come right at him. And it was also interesting that he started training with Sugar Hill from the Kronk Champ and developed that sort of like Kronk style.
Yep.
Like super aggressive, knockout focused style.
Insane, dude.
Amazing. That's fun, man. It's fun. The big fight for me right now, too, though, is Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford.
I don't know if you're going to see it, dude.
I got to see that fight. I don't
I do
understand
too,
why that
but-
fight's not happening.
Boxing 101.
Yeah.
It's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, they're talking about Ryan Garcia fighting Manny Pacquiao. You seen that?
Yeah, I'm not into it.
You know?
I don't think Ryan's ready.
No.
Thank God you agree with me.
No. After he got dropped, I was like,
By
oh
Luke
my
Campbell?
Yeah, I'm like, oh my goodness.
He's not ready for Manny Pacquiao. And then he wanted Tank Davis. And I did a food truck with Tyson, and it was the same day they had Ryan Garcia on. Yeah. And Mike's like, oh, I just had Brian on, and we had Tank Davis Zoom in or FaceTime in, and they're talking shit to each other. I went, well, Mike, that's not a good fight for him. He's like, if he believes he can do it, Muhammad Ali. I'm like, what are you talking, Muhammad Ali? Yeah, I guess that's an example of Muhammad Ali. Ryan Garcia ain't beating Tank Davis, dude.
Well,
he's not ready.
Gervonta is a ruthless puncher. He's ruthless. He'll find your fucking chin. He will find your chin. Man. That guy's good.
I had that Teofimo Lopez on, who's the champ, who beat Lomachenko.
He's the motherfucker of the division.
Notice nobody's calling him out.
No!
That's what he said on my show, because I go, food truck, that comes out in 2 weeks, and his dad was with him. I love his dad. His dad just took over the interview. But his dad was like, no one's calling my son out.
Yeah.
He goes, name one person who's called him out. Go, Brendan. Tell me what. I'm like,
dude.
no one. He goes, why do you think that is?
Yeah.
He was calling all each other out, but not my son.
Did you see what Gervonta posted on Twitter after Oscar De La Hoya was saying they're going to set up a fight with Ryan Garcia?
No, I didn't see it.
And he goes, is Oscar on coke again?
How about Oscar trying to fight Triple G?
You know how insane that beating would be?
And then your boy Bernard Hopkins goes, I think Oscar would beat him.
He's got to say
Hey,
that.
Bernard, I know he's your business
He's gotta
partner.
say that.
Do your fucking Coke friend a solid here and let him know this isn't smart.
Maybe he knows it'll never take place. Or maybe he knows that,
in the
Oscar
world we're
needs that
living
money.
in, dude. Yeah.
It might. Maybe not. Maybe Oscar fucking snorted all that money. God. I don't know. I mean, I see him training.
They lost Canelo. Canelo's not with Golden Boy
Is
anymore.
that real?
Yeah, that's real.
When did that happen?
Or like probably 3 or 4 months ago, he's out.
How did he lose Canelo Alvarez?
Canelo just didn't want to fuck with him anymore. That's why hopefully Canelo comes to Showtime.
Do you think Canelo was just tired of the bullshit?
I think so.
Yeah.
And DAZN, because DAZN was a fucking mess, still is.
Because of the lack of funds coming in from ticket sales.
And they promised him all this money and they weren't paying him. He's like, I'm out of here, dude. And who do you want me to fight? And Canelo wants to fight Earl Spence. He wants to fight everybody. And then we're not offering those fights.
Those guys are smaller than him.
Yeah, but he's down to cut. He's down for whatever. He wants to fight the who's who. He wants to go down as the best. And DAZN's like, well, we can't get those guys.
Ooh.
So he's out.
So where's he going to go?
He's a free agent right now. Wow. Hopefully, I know Showtime's in negotiations with him.
When is the best boxer in the world ever a free agent?
I mean, when you sign with DAZN, and they don't know what the fuck.
By the way, how fucking good and how juicy did Triple G look in his last fight?
I know.
He looked a little juicy.
A little juiced up.
Look a little juicy.
And I'm a fan of that.
I'm a fan of that,
yeah,
too.
Do you?
Look, and he's fucking 37, 38 years old. How old is he now?
Why not?
How old is Gennady Golovkin?
39?
Jesus, you got to be juicy.
Juice it
because
up, dog.
He looked shredded. I mean, he looked physically as good as he's ever looked.
Canelo's not into the rematch. I'm sorry, the trilogy.
Really? I wonder why. It's a tough fight, man.
Tough fight.
It's a tough fight.
He definitely lost one of those fights.
Yeah, he lost the first one.
Uh-huh.
He lost the first one. I felt like he lost the first one. Do you see Triple G? Is that what he looked like? That's a weird photo. What does it say? It says rips Canelo Alvarez. His third fight will eventually happen. Yeah, he's fucking 40. See if you can go with a video of his last fight. Who the fuck was his opponent again? Who was his opponent again? His last fight. See if you could find the record. Yeah. How do you say that name? Make that larger again so I can read it. Camille Suramita beat the brakes off this dude. See if you can find that online, because when you look at his body online, it doesn't look like a 38-year-old boxer who's had more than a decade into the career. Yeah, highlight. Look at this. Look at, like, physically. Okay, he's 38 and he's fighting a dude who's 31. I mean, he just put it to this fucking dude and looked as good as he's ever looked. Had incredible endurance. He looked great physically, his muscle tone, like everything. He looked on fire. I mean, he was picking that dude apart and eventually stopped him. And this was vintage Gennady Golovkin. And I think he probably tried to stay natty for a long time.
Yeah, but then age is just like father times a K, bro.
Yeah, if you find like a really shredded guy who's pushing 40, who like all of a sudden bounces back. Like this was an argument that Faraz Sahabi had used for someone who
In UFC?
Fitch in
Okay.
Bellator. He's saying like you look at the guy, like all of a sudden he's making this resurgence and his body looks better and he's in his 30s. Like there's a lot of people that think you should be able to do it. There's a lot of people that think that
To a certain level.
Yeah.
Bring your levels up to a certain level so you're not, just royally fucked.
But you would just allow fighters to continue their career this way. And then there's other people that think no, because it leaves too much room for cheating. And what is cheating? Are you allowed to do ice baths? Are you allowed to do saunas?
it's a
Are you
gray
allowed
area.
to do hyperbaric chambers? Are you allowed to do,
Yeah.
what are you allowed to do? Are you allowed to take supplements? Okay, how many? And how effective are these supplements?
It
What
is
do
gray.
they do?
Do you see USADA's not going to test for marijuana anymore?
Yeah, they sent it to me directly.
Me too. I got an email like, hey, can you please talk about this? I'm like, hey, who gives a fuck, dude? Also, the commissions don't, obey by those same protocols.
They
So,
don't?
no. So California, Nevada, if you smoking weed and they test you and you test positive, they're going to ban you.
Oh, are they really?
Yeah, they don't go by. It's not an overall. That's just USADA and UFC's agreement.
Oh, that's interesting.
So if you go to Florida, Nevada, California, you test positive for marijuana, to them it's still illegal.
Huh.
Yeah.
So essentially, USADA's not testing for it when they catch you. If they do like a 6 a.m.
Yeah,
raid
like
on
6
Nick
weeks
Diaz's
out. Yeah,
house.
you're fine.
Yeah. So Nick Diaz is supposed to be fighting in 2021 as well, right? Isn't
I
he supposed to
guess.
come back?
That's what they say. But then Dana
Yeah.
was like, it doesn't make sense.
Why doesn't it make sense?
Dana was like, he's been out for so long, it makes no sense for him to come back. He's like, I don't think we're going to offer him a fight. That's what I thought Dana said.
Well, he might be saying that because of negotiations.
Yeah, trying to get him out. Dude, I'm about
know.
to piss my pants.
Go piss your pants.
All right, cool.
Go piss your pants.
Thanks, dude.
We'll be right here. It takes a while to develop that kind of bladder endurance, son. You can't just jump right back into the game. You're right. You don't know about these 3-hour podcasts. I don't think anybody should want to see a Nick Diaz fight, but people should want to see a CM Punk fight? That doesn't make any sense. Listen, Nick Diaz is a legend. If Nick Diaz wants a fight, I want to give him my money. I want to pay to see that. I don't know if that's true, because everything that I've seen from Nick Diaz doesn't look like Nick Diaz wants to do. Oh, stop. Go back. Scroll down to where I was reading. Everything I've seen from Nick Diaz seems like Nick Diaz doesn't look like Nick Diaz wants to or is ready to compete in this sport. White said of the Diaz comeback reports, this sport, even for John Jones, as good as John Jones is, you have to be 100% mentally, physically, and emotionally ready to train, be ready for this and fight. And I just don't know. Well, John Jones is the worst example that you could say, even as good as John Jones is. Because John Jones beat Alexander Gustafsson for the title in a 5-round war where he literally didn't train. It's like the worst example that you could use. What'd you do?
I was trying to look up his Instagram to see. He said he was training on Instagram, and that's why people.
Well,
are
there he
talking
is,
about
getting
it,
his
I
drug
guess.
gloves laced up. What does it say in that one where the one next to that? What does it say there?
Nothing. Just tag
Nothing.
people.
Just him. Look, I'm sure he's training. I am absolutely sure he's training. But that's him putting
On his brother,
gloves
yeah.
on his brother.
Holding pads for him.
Yeah. I'm 100% sure he's training. And it looks like he's training with his brother, so he's getting his brother ready. It's a thing. It's like if he fights, people want to see it. He is Nick Diaz. He's a legend. I mean, the guy's been in the sport. I called Nick Diaz versus Robbie Lawler in 2002. I'm pretty sure that's when that fight was. It might have been 2003, if I remember correctly. So at the very least, it was 18 years ago. He knocked out Robbie Lawler, which is crazy that they're both competing still. Was that 2003? Nick Diaz versus Robbie Lawler?
I didn't go far enough back. Robbie Lawler, 2004.
2004. So,
He had
17.
yeah, that was his 10th fight.
Fucking crazy. I mean, before that, he had a series of fights outside the UFC.
He's been fighting since before September 11th happened.
Yeah.
2 weeks before that, he had a fight, his first
So
fight.
he's got a more than 20-year career in combat sports. We're talking about Nick Diaz.
What about him?
But he's, he wants to fight again, allegedly, but Dana White says nobody should want to see a Nick Diaz fight. And he used John Jones as an example. He's like, even as good as John Jones is, you have to be mentally, physically prepared. I'm like, that's the worst example you could ever use because John Jones fought Gustafsson and beat him in a 5-round war with no training at all.
Yeah, he trained for like 2 weeks and beat the shit out of him. And then didn't train for Ryan Bader and beat him in a round.
He didn't train for Ryan Banner?
I don't think so.
No?
Those were during the wild days. Seems to be chilling out now.
Yeah. John seems to be into like guns. It's like really into tactical shit and like going through like these scenarios, these drills.
Dude, good luck being that guy at heavyweight.
He's a monster.
Monster.
Yeah. And he's used to so many faster guys. But meanwhile,
You can't get hit, though. Like, Francis hits you, it's game over.
for everybody.
Anybody and everybody.
Everybody and anybody. But Stipe took it. But I'd still
That
maintain.
was a long time ago.
Yes. And I still maintain that one of the reasons why DC knocked out Stipe was with one punch was not just that there was a punch that nobody saw coming, that he didn't see coming. It was because it was a beautiful technique. The pummeling and then the landing the right hand, it was beautiful. Caught him clean. But also, I think Stipe was damaged from that first Ngannou fight.
Agree 100%. He ate the biggest shots we've ever seen from Francis
Ever.
and kept on keeping on. And
Which
then
is
fought
crazy.
DC and it was like it was a good punch, but we've seen him take worse.
We've seen him take worse, but it was a punch that he didn't see coming. It was the way DC brilliantly utilized the clinch and then landed that overhand right. It was perfect. He limp arm. How did he get out of it?
Out of the exchange when
It was like
he
in
got
the
out
middle of the
boom.
clinch and
Yeah.
boom. I mean, it was amazing. It was so perfect, and we were so stunned.
I'm a little worried for Stipe. I don't know why we always count Stipe out, but I'm a little worried about him just his health and his eye and his back and everything going
Yeah.
into this Francis fight.
Well,
Because Francis is foaming at the mouth.
You got to be worried about everybody who fights Francis. Everybody. He's just such a monster. He's so big.
And God, you gotta fight the fucking guy, man.
Yeah.
Like you make him active.
Yeah. What's happening here? Stipe woke up with that immigrant mentality. He listens to Joey Diaz.
Yeah, that's a Joey Diaz.
That's a
line.
Joey Diaz. Got that fucking ox blood running through my veins today. Let's fucking go.
You see, has the support
Yeah.
from Mario Lopez.
Oh, well.
Let's go, champ.
Let's go, champ. Yeah. Speaking of Let's Go, champ, see Shannon Cannon Briggs is training for a comeback.
Stop.
He's pushing hard to try to get a fight with Mike Tyson.
Oh God.
Yeah, he was overweight and getting to gym and looking slow, but he's like slowly building his way back up, and he's documenting all of it on his Instagram.
Yeah, Tyson. When I was with him, he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna fight a few times." And I was like, "Oh, Holyfield? Like, what else are you gonna do?" He's like, "No, there'll be some other guys, so maybe Shannon Briggs is one of them."
Maybe. I mean, it's the right age limit. I mean, Shannon, I think, is 49.
Were you a fan of the Tyson Roy stuff? It seemed like a gentleman's agreement to me,
A little bit.
right?
A little bit. Don't hit me in the head.
Yeah,
Yeah, a little bit, right?
yeah, for sure.
Maybe.
I'm not that into it. I gotta be honest.
Well, I gotta admit that my anticipation level was very high.
Oh, really?
I had Roy on the podcast. I had Mike on the podcast.
You really sold that thing. And I texted you. I was like, "Dude, you gotta calm down. You gotta calm down because this thing's a gentleman's bet." Listen, I love both of them.
I love both of them too, and I'm willing to sell. I'm a hype man.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm a fuckboy hype beast.
But I was looking forward to seeing it, man. I was watching it like in my office like this. Couldn't wait.
See, I think Jake Paul stole the show
Oh, he did. Yeah, he
by
did.
far.
Well, I mean, he starched Nate Robinson.
Poor Nate Robinson.
Starched him.
I think a lot of NBA players are like, "Oh yeah, I want to do it too," and they saw Nate Robinson. He was a meme for the next fucking
But apparently,
2 weeks.
they're saying Nate took it real well, and Nate jumped in and was laughing at all the jokes and the text threads with other
good
NBA
on him,
players.
man.
Yeah, everybody said that he took it real well.
The hype off Jake Paul off that knockout is insane.
Listen, man, and
because
again,
the boxing community wants to see him lose, the MMA community wants to see him lose,
Yeah.
and now The MMA community's never backed Ben Askren. Now they're backing him because they want to see him beat fucking Jake.
It's brilliant for him too. If you want to fight a guy with a big name who really isn't a striker at all.
No, not at all.
You know?
In any facet.
But if I see, I've Ben had more time because Ben hasn't really been training, you know. And then Ben had a hip replacement, and then Ben was never really a boxer to begin with.
Far from it.
You know, it's like I really wish he had more time to prepare. I agree with you. He's a completely different level of athlete
From
in
Nate
terms of
Robinson.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, and also from Jake Paul. In terms of like accomplishments,
Oh, not even close.
not even close. I mean, in terms of like
There's no quitting Ben.
yeah, no
You're
quit.
gonna have to put his lights out.
Yeah, and the guy's got incredible mental toughness, but does he have the physical capabilities to box well?
I gotta see what that hip's like.
I don't even.
I gotta see what the new hip's like.
I can't say I've ever seen him hit pads. Oh, look at this. Yeah, he can move. But is there any videos of
I know
him?
it burns when Jake Paul takes a beat. So stupid. That's the thing about Ben
That's
too. He's
funny.
the perfect opponent because he talks shit too.
But he's such a goofy talk shit too. Is there any videos of him hitting the pads? Go to Ben Askren hits pads.
You know what's cool
we
is
go.
you
This
know
is what I
Ben.
need
You
to
know
say.
Ben still has a fights with the UFC, and he had to call the UFC to get confirmation
Mm-hmm.
to take this fight.
Yeah, they let him.
Yeah,
Let's
they're
see.
like,
Let's
"Yeah,
see
do it,
this.
dude."
Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's see his boxing. Give me some volume. See my man. Ew, gross music. My man
my
Duke
God,
Rufus.
that was awful.
This is what is happening here.
I don't know. Someone may have made a training video from some old shit and just re-uploaded
Can I just
it.
see? What do we got here? Oh, he's just looking to take people
Takedowns.
This is all
down.
very old video footage, I believe. Mm-hmm. Just got re-uploaded.
Is there another video anywhere of him hitting pads? I just want to see his hand combinations. Can you go to YouTube? Just click at the videos link. Just click the videos
Dude, if you
link.
just watch Ben versus fucking Damian Maia,
Here he goes.
that's
Give me volume.
That's terrible.
Mike's been someone I've worked with for a while and teammate at Rufus Sport, so we'll be working out a few extra mid-sessions a week to get my hands moving.
And this is preparing for this fight? Is this
No,
recent?
This is last 2019. It said. That's what
Okay.
it's all old footage. Probably before his hip got fixed.
Yeah, he had a really fucked up hip, even when
Really
he
bad,
wrestled
dude.
Jordan Burroughs.
Well, you got to realize when he got the UFC, he was pretty compromised with that
Yeah.
hip. He was also older, man.
Yeah.
You weren't getting a young Ben Askren in the UFC.
No. He had gone through the ringer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just years
It's fun
and
to see him
years
in
of
there, though.
wrestling and the punishment on your joints and just there's no one gets out alive from wrestling, man. That sport, man, everything gets just eventually just all the bolts start falling off and the fucking all the joints.
All wrestlers are pretty fucked up.
pretty fucked up,
Shane
man.
Carwin's neck, back. Then he
Michael
played
Bisping just
football,
went in for a fake disc in his neck.
and he wasn't even a wrestler.
I wasn't even a wrestler, but obviously did a lot of wrestling. He just posted a photograph from his Instagram of him without the eye prosthesis too, because you can see what the eye looks like, what his actual eye looks
Is it
like.
brutal?
He was trying to get a fight with these guys. He was trying to get a fight with Logan Paul or Jake Paul.
Everyone was, dude. Come on.
But Mike can't even see out of one eye. Like, how could he? And now it turns out he had to get his disc replaced in his neck, and he's still calling out a fight. But that's what a game pit bull he is.
Mike,
Yeah,
dude,
so game.
one of the best.
Just so game.
Dude, but also, like, my kid wants to be a fighter. I'll show him fucking Michael Bisping with his eye out. Like,
Yeah.
heavy lies the crown, man.
How did Nick Lentz do in his last fight? Because Nick Lentz had a real touch and go situation
He
with
lost,
his eye as
and
well.
they cut him. All right, yeah, I think he retired.
He retired.
Did you see
Said he
Hooker?
lost 40% of the vision in his eye.
Jesus
I
He, was
can't
getting,
Christ.
he couldn't see, couldn't target the moving target. Like, couldn't see him
And
at all.
did you
Did he
see
say that about this fight in particular? Did he lose the 40% of the vision and he had that way in training? But it was that way in training because I know he had surgery, and he took here it is. My UFC abruptly retired. I lost about 40% of my vision in his eye. Fuck, and he got really beat up in that fight too. They say don't make rash decisions after loss, but this one is not rash or even quick for that matter. The injury I suffered to my eyes last year was a career ender. I lost a total of 40% of my vision, but I wanted to see what one more hard-fought battle was like with the new eyes. It was clear to me last night it's impossible for me to compete at this level anymore. I just can't lock onto a moving target like I should. And with 40% of my vision practically gone, it's chaotic to the least. My life as a fighter in the best organization on the planet ends here. I'm not sad or upset by it. The day comes for everyone. I stand with my head high, God as my redeemer, and my children and wife as my treasure. Fighting gave those treasures, and I only ask for a little vision as payment, a trade that I would make 100% of the time. Wow. Thank you to my fans, my coaches, my family, and everyone who has been a part of this process. Who knows what comes next for the Carney, but I can tell you what it's not.
What a stud.
He's an animal, man. Tough fucking dude, man. And really,
Good guy.
really learned and grew in the sport. Fucking, I hate seeing that, man, with guys losing vision. It scares the shit out of me.
Game, though, man. You look at that Spencer Fisher post. Heartbreaking.
Yeah, dude.
And this is only the start, Bubba. This is only the start because now
Yes.
there's going to be a whole crop of new guys coming out with injuries and brain trauma and vision problems.
Well, I'm going to have on the guys from the John Hopkins psychedelic study that are working with the UFC with psychedelic therapy for CTE.
The micro dosing.
The thing about psilocybin, there's something about psilocybin that's one of the rare... See, I don't want to repeat this without it being accurate. Psilocybin regrows neurons in the brain. I'm pretty sure that studies have shown that psilocybin can actually regrow neurons. And it's a very rare thing in that regard because I don't think there's anything else that's been clinically proven to do that. So what that can mean is that through, if it really works, it might be something that can actually restore brain function.
Yeah, they're finding a lot more things like that. That's how I got started on nicotine packets. Shout out
Is
to
that
Rogue.
what you do in there?
I do nicotine because
Let me see that.
they say nicotine for your brain, especially if you had CT, is supposed to be really good. So because one thing they found in smokers, almost all of them didn't have dementia, and they couldn't figure it. They were trying to figure it out it's because of the nicotine. All right, you dropped all of them.
Oh, Jesus.
All right.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, touch it if you
Now,
want.
these are little packets. What do you do with this packet?
Put it in your lip, man. That's only 6
All right.
milligrams. Yeah, it's tasty too. Shout out to Rogue. Sponsor your boy.
This is good. You like this
I
taste?
love it, dude. Can't get enough of it.
You can't swallow. Well, you could swallow that,
No,
but that'd
you-
be a lot harder to swallow than that dip you did. That one.
Yeah.
You can swallow this. You don't spit in this.
Cowboy gave me a wad of dip.
Oh, don't do
I
that.
put it in my mouth while I was swallowing it.
Oh God, no! This one you can swallow. It's nice. Get a little buzz. I do this right before I hit the
Very minty.
stage.
You know what I do?
Cigarette.
Cigarettes. That stuff's nasty. Bro, it's like somebody tried to. It's like someone.
You know when you swallowed the shit.
No,
like
swallowed's way better.
Ugh.
It's like someone tried to put bubble gum
Yeah.
and mix it in with tobacco. That's
Fuck
what
yeah.
it tastes like.
Yeah, no, I love it.
That's what it
I
is,
can't,
right?
Dude, I go through a pack a day.
Try it, Jamie. Give one to Jamie. Give one to Jamie. I need to know. I need to know if I'm wrong here.
They're fantastic.
Bro, I'm just twitching.
I can't get enough of it.
This is a guy that just smoked a cigar.
Yeah, there you go.
And I'm like,
Not for you. But do you fuck with Nicorette or anything?
no. But I've smoked a bunch of Chappelle cigarettes before I go on stage. I do like that before I go on stage. There's
That's what I do with
of
this.
nicotine.
You take 4 of these, right, like 30 minutes before I go on stage. I'm fucking.
First
geeked.
time I ever did it, I took one from Hinchcliffe. He's like, "Don't get addicted." I'm like, "I'm not gonna get addicted." Get the
Dude, you
fuck
know
outta
my
here.
whiskey problem started with you. We were back at the bar at
whiskey problem. You mean this awesome practice of,
Yeah.
of enjoying whiskey?
My life is better on
I
whiskey.
think it's fine. Doesn't taste bad.
Yeah.
Actually,
Oh,
kinda-
isn't it nice?
yeah.
Oh,
That's
good.
that Rogue mango pouch.
Everybody's got different taste buds.
Yeah, it's weird. But back to
My
my
taste buds
my
like-
whiskey issue started with you at the Comedy Store because you're like, hey, do a shot with me. I'm like, I don't drink before sets, man. I got to be on point. You're like, just do a fuck. God, come on. I do it all the time. I'm like, all right, fuck, give me a shot. I think it was Jameson or Jack. Did a shot, best set of my life. I'm like, well, I'm a guy who believes in.
Gets you loose.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. You don't want to be drunk when you go on stage.
No,
but,
God, no.
But a little shot before you go on stage is like, woo!
Yeah, it just gets the edge off.
Gets
Yeah.
you firing up.
I love it. I love
Yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy
it.
it.
And I drink a lot.
Yeah. How much?
I was drinking probably 2 doubles a night before I took a break.
So why do you think it's the TRT that was making your face fat? How much were you drinking during that time? Your dick wasn't working. Hey, I think I might have found another fucking culprit here.
I think it was the
You're hammered every night. You're drinking a fucking ton of whiskey. My
Dude,
face got
half a
fatter.
bottle.
I think it was testosterone.
half a bottle, bro. half a bottle.
So much whiskey.
I just love it, man. I love whiskey.
I like catching a buzz.
Me too. I like catching a buzz at night. You know how it is. You're doing shows all day, and I get home. I'm with my kid. It's nonstop, and I put them to bed. And then me and my girl, and she doesn't drink. I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna have some drinks, man. And we put on our show, fucking Love Island UK season 3. And I got my buzz on. I got my dip in.
You know what I've been watching? Karate Kid, Cobra Kai.
Oh, you're the second person I've heard.
It's good.
People love it.
It's so cheesy. It's so
Shout
1980s.
out to Todd Feldman. Yeah,
it's so 1980s. But it's good, dude.
And
It's
people
really
love.
good.
Oh, Chappelle just told me. He's
Did
like,
he? He likes it too?
He doesn't like he doesn't know fighting.
We should clarify. Chappelle Lacey.
Chappelle Lacey. Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
not
Dave
Dave
Chappelle.
Chappelle. Yeah.
You know when he started doing comedy, like you need to switch your name. He's like, but my name's Chappelle. Like I know, but there's already a Dave Chappelle. He's like,
No, he doesn't.
what the fuck are you talking about? My name's
He's got
Chappelle
two
Lacey.
names. It's Chappelle Lacey. It's not Dave
He's
Chappelle.
the nicest guy, man.
He's great. And by the way, what a freak athlete that dude is. We've played videos of him doing gymnastics and doing
Did you?
cheer multiple times on this podcast.
Dude, he'll fucking.
He's incredible.
Well, now at the shows, because he's done it so many times, not the shows, they yell at him, his clothes to do a backflip. And I got to follow him. Like, what are you doing backflips up there for? What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing,
But
dude?
he doesn't look like a guy who should be able to do a backflip.
No,
he's like
he's
240,
thick. Yeah, he's
jacked.
thick.
It doesn't make any sense.
Thick.
And I told him, I go, dude, the body control that you have, you would be insane at jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And I know he got into it a little bit. Is he still doing it?
Well, in LA, you can't really do jiu-jitsu.
Yes, we can. You just gotta know the right people.
And I know the right people, but he's not that dedicated to do it,
Yeah.
you know?
Isn't that gross? You can't even train. Oh, God.
How about our boy
I hope
Eddie,
it
man?
changes.
That's his livelihood.
I know. Look at him. Liz Chappelle. I mean, come the fuck on. What a freak athlete.
And you want to talk about one of the nicest people in
he's
the
such-
world.
such a
And
sweetheart.
talented and funny.
Funny as shit, man. Just a perfect person.
Dude, I was going to find
I
the
love
kid
that
down.
dude. Woo,
And then,
look at that.
And I
Look
asked
at that.
Chappelle to do the show.
Woo! That's amazing. It's so unusual. This is the crazy thing when he throws that girl up and catches her. Like, you know what kind of power you have to be able to do that?
Dude, he's wider than me. He does cheerleading. He listens to fucking alternative music. He skateboards. It's like, dude, okay, man.
Tell everybody where you guys are playing.
We're at the Mark in San Marcos,
Where's
Friday,
that?
Saturday.
Where's San Marcos?
It's between here and San Antonio. It's 20 miles from here.
Oh, okay. There's a lot of spots out here, man. There's a lot of spots, a lot of places to do comedy.
I'm coming, man. San Marcos for this Friday, Saturday.
You think
2
you can
shows.
eventually move out here? What do you think?
I don't know. If anyone's going to
Will
get
it be
me to
like
do
that
it, it's going to be you.
What is that?
That's their website. That's what it used
I bet
to
it
look
will be like
one
that.
day.
That's probably what's going to
San
be
Antonio is COVID as fuck. That's where you caught it.
That's where I got it.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to get it too, man.
Did
you know,
you?
when you go in a room, you're like, it's pretty COVID-y back here, man.
That's what I felt like when I went to that show where everybody got it but me.
Yeah.
Everybody got it but me. Everybody I was with.
It's dicey.
And I was like, man, I'm in this green room. It's packed with people.
How you haven't got it yet, I don't know. Just get it. Quit being a pussy. Your boy
I don't know,
Dave
man.
got it.
Yeah, he got
And
it.
how's he doing?
Everybody thought
Do we
no,
know-
no symptoms at all.
Yeah.
No. Same with Raheem. Radio Raheem.
What about Elon?
No symptoms. He had a little bit of a cold. That's it.
Yeah.
He said it was a mild cold.
There you go.
And but I do have one friend that feels like total dog shit. He was throwing up, felt terrible, but then the next day he was fine.
Is it Michael Yo again?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, Michael Yo almost fucking died.
He's
Michael
Asian,
Yo
though.
almost. How dare you? What does that mean?
I'm just saying, they get it worse.
Wuhan?
It started there. Wuhan's lit as fuck.
They say that, but I'm not buying it.
I'm not buying it either.
They won't let you fly
Yeah, I
over
think it's
there.
propaganda.
It's holograms.
Yeah, I'm not buying it either.
Such a-
They're like, oh, we're partying out
We
here. I'm like, no,
figured
you're
it
not.
out.
Yeah, no, you're not.
Meanwhile, there's bodies in the streets
Yeah.
and sirens. Wah, wah.
Yeah, who
You step
knows?
outside your house, they machine gun you.
Yeah, who knows what's
Yeah,
going
they
on
got
there.
welded people inside their buildings, man. They're spraying fucking disinfectant through the air as they drove down the streets.
Yeah, but get COVID. You know, lick a toilet or some shit for me. Just join the club,
Listen,
Jamie.
I've been around
look,
a lot
Jamie
of
got
people.
it. Grew his hair out.
I've been a lot of people that got COVID. I've been around a lot of people, and I never got it. Tony got it the same night I was out. I was out with him. He got it that night.
Yeah, you're a superhero.
I don't know what
it's
it
your
is.
blood type.
I have that O positive, that old school blood type. That helps. But I think it's the vitamins. And also sauna. I'm in the sauna every day. I was in the sauna for a half hour today at 185 degrees,
Tim Dillon
meditating.
Tim Dillon goes. He goes, yeah, I apparently, because he showed me around his house, he's like, I'm trying to figure out where to put my fucking sauna. I'm going to get one. Rogan says it kills COVID. I go, I don't know if that's true. Tim goes, yeah, Rogan said it. I go, dude, seriously, I don't know if that's true, man.
Deep breathing. See, if COVID lives in your nostrils, good luck, you fucking shitbag virus. Gonna fucking make it into my nostrils. My nostrils, man, when I get that 185 degrees and I get that steam
It's
going,
so
I'm like
hot.
this.
Dude, you and I have been in a steam room together, and I had to get the fuck out, man. We were trying to see who broke first. I was out.
Yeah, but that Laird Hamilton guy will beat us all. That motherfucker is in there with oven mitts on an Airdyne bike at 210 degrees.
You're savage.
He's an unusual human being, man. Like, all my friends that went and trained with him at his house in Malibu, they're like, this fucking guy cranks it up to the high. He's in the 200s,
No,
200 plus degrees.
Not for me, Papa.
In the sauna.
Listen,
and then does
I
the
have a hot
cold
tub.
plunge.
No, I do a hot tub.
What I've been doing is, because it gets cold here at night, I do the sauna and then I jump in my pool. My pool's not heated.
Oh, so it's cold?
Oh my God, it's cold as fuck. And I did 6 minutes in the pool one night and I almost didn't make it out of the pool.
You're that cold?
I was real worried because no one was out there with me. And I made it out, but as I was walking out of the pool, I'm like, oh, Jesus, I could barely walk. I'm like,
do you swim in your undies?
Shivering. Yeah, I got
Yeah, me too. I swim in my undies.
But I don't. Usually, I just swim with a swimsuit.
Oh, I don't. Not at night. Me and my son go in every night. We just go in our undies.
What's the difference?
Yeah, who gives a fuck?
Like, if girls like, yeah, you mean your underwear? What the fuck is your bikini?
Yeah, it's same
Like,
shit.
you don't have shorts on.
That's my thong, bitch.
Yeah, what is that?
Come on.
Girls have the most ridiculous outfits. I mean, just the fact that they can wear like anal floss and a fucking tortilla chip over your pussy,
Yeah,
and you could just go hang around with
insane.
strangers.
It's insane,
and it's fine. It's fine. It's just a thong.
And the
It's
heels?
fine. You could literally see your whole ass.
Yeah.
Everything
Thank
but
God
your
they do
asshole.
that. Yeah, thank God they do that. Yeah.
Thank God. Imagine if we had like skirts. And you could just lift it up and your hog was right there.
I was hearing some story about there's in the 1900s, early 1900s, the pools they used to have back then. This place I was hearing about, you had to rent the suit from them. Like you showed up and rented your suit there. That sounds so fucking disgusting.
What?
And I don't know how much disease was getting spread around then, but
Like someone else's swimsuit?
Yeah,
That's
like,
probably where
Like a
1905.
Blockbuster for
Yeah,
swimsuits?
Yeah.
It's probably where the Spanish flu came from.
Yeah.
Probably came from them suits.
Hard
well, they
pass.
had weird suits back then. They were wrestling singlets, right?
Yeah.
Didn't they?
By weird, you mean awesome.
But they didn't wear shorts.
No, they wore those weird
like a
things.
singlet.
Yeah,
The
that's
same
right.
place that was showing pictures of that, those kids like with saggy, like little 7-year-olds, the shit was falling off of them. They were saying they had a baby elephant that the kids could play with that was just walking around the grounds of this, like, they
Well,
call
this
it an
sounds
amusement park. I know,
fantastic.
and the place got closed down, and I don't know what happened, but it sounds like a whole lot of fun.
Life was cheap
but
back
also
then,
crazy.
though.
Yeah, I
A
know.
little kid would get stomped by an elephant, and they would just bury both of them. And
Yeah, the
where's your kid?
liability,
I don't
man.
know what happened to kid.
Yeah, what are we doing?
There's no kids. All right, let's wrap this motherfucker up. Let everybody know, is your show sold out?
I think they just released my comps because I don't have any friends. I don't know anybody.
So
here.
how many tickets is that?
Probably 10.
10 tickets. So
10
that's
a
it.
show.
And that if they want to,
FATKZ.com for tickets at the Mark. It's between San Antonio and Austin. Chappelle's there. Chappelle, AC, Malik. The crew's there.
beautiful. That should be a fun show.
And then I'm in Tampa end of February.
What are you doing in Tampa?
Tampa Improv.
That's the only time I've ever been approached by swingers.
Oh.
Tampa has a big swinger community.
That's Florida.
No, this twice I've been approached by swingers. Once was in Nashville.
Really?
But there was the driver.
And
I
were they
think it was
hot, though?
Segura. No.
Yeah, they
No.
never are.
No.
They
It's,
never
it
are.
was atrocious.
Yeah, that's how it
Yeah,
goes.
they look like bowlers.
Yeah.
They were like, "You want to come to a swingers club with me?" I'm like, "I do not."
No, does
I do
everyone
not.
look like you?
I'm like, I
Hard pass.
I have a pool cue with me. I'm going to a pool hall.
Yeah,
I'm not
man.
here to watch you guys fuck.
No, hard pass, dude.
All right, I love you, brother.
I love
Very
you,
good to see you,
man. I
man.
miss you,
I hope
brother.
you move here.
I know.
Can you fight opinions?
Oh, I know.